is the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I am James Pledger, joined by my man Michael Jimenez, Jack Thompson. We will figure out the Michael Jimenez part here in a second because they seem to be getting some feedback as we figure things out here on the Blitz. It's a Getaway Friday. Of course, Rob Thompson is taking the day off, as is Jason Minix, as they had a Getaway Thursday yesterday. So I brought in my Saturday morning cohort, Jack Thompson, with me. As your
baby.
Your dad, he is home, right?
He is home. Yes,
so,
he is home.
In order to figure out if there was a echo, which apparently there is, when I try and bring Michael Jimenez into it, he, instead of pulling up the app on his phone to listen, decided to go out to his car and listen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you asked me to, ask him to see if there was an echo. Yeah, and I was looking at him right on the couch. New. Yeah, I was looking at him. I was like, hey, Dad, will you just check the beginning of the show to see if there's an echo? We've been having some problems. He was like, yeah, sure. I'll just go out to the car. Well.
Okay, Boomer.
I mean, that is the most, he's got the option to be able to check his phone and just pull up the ESPNSA.com app right there.
Yeah.
He's got.
I just let him do it.
He's got a computer in the house. He could use that. I mean, there are multiple ways he could listen. He chose to go out to the car and listen to terrestrial radio. I get it. He's getting his steps in, right? He's on. He's Institute of Functional Health. He's trying to get up, walk around, do some stuff, and try to make Dr. Torres happy over at the IFH.
Yeah, we'll chalk it up to that.
I mean, we've got a lot going on today. I'm going to try and figure out Michael Jimenez here in a little bit, as we're still getting an echo on his end. I'm not quite sure exactly what's causing it, but that is something that we will work on as the show goes on. We'll get some fantasy information from one of the fantasy gods here a little bit later in the show. Also coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, a couple of interviews. We got Tyler McHugh, a former quarterback for Rice, who works for Sports Talk 790 in Houston and also ESPN 97.5 down there in Houston. And he is big into college football. He's going to let us know. We've got Texas State kicking off tomorrow against SMU. We've got, the Longhorns next weekend, Texas A&M getting ready to kick off. I mean, there's a lot about the college football season that we kind of need to know more about, especially with all these players opting out, like LSU's Jamar Chase and multiple first-round picks, and how that's going to affect the college football season moving forward. And if we may see some more opt-outs moving forward with both the Aggies, the Longhorns. I know a couple of Longhorns have already opted out of the season, another one last night. So that's going to be big as we move forward. Also, I don't know if you know this, Kentucky Derby has been moved because of COVID-19. It is this weekend. So we are bringing in our friend Dick Girardi of BetOnline AG to get us ready for the Kentucky Derby, including prop bets and all the fun things that Michael Jimenez loves the most. So we're going to get to that coming up here in just a little bit. We've also
Telling you this makes fine jewelry more affordable than ever. It's definitely the smart way to buy. On approved credit, details at diamondsdirect.com.
At the shops at La Cantera.
Napa know-how.
Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping and over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $35 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
A great meal starts with great meat. Rob and Jason here for Tri-County Meat Market, the best meat market in San Antonio. It's locally owned and full service. Tri-County has carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice.
Tri-County has everything you need to up your grilling game, from beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. Stock up on their Pick 5 for $25. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner Road, and online at tricountymeat.com.
At Dos Equis, we realize you've missed celebrating quite a few holidays this year. That's why we're proposing a makeup holiday. St. Patrick de Mayo of Independence Day. Sounds very festive. Dos Equis, a most interesting beer. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. Copyright 2020.
Stugatz here. This is a special end-of-summer announcement from Dell. At our Labor Day sale, small businesses can save up to 50% on select business computers with Intel Core processors. We are committed to taking your business to the next level. Give our small business technology advisors a call. They'll identify the right tech solution for your business with Labor Day savings. Visit Dell.com/business deals or call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
The die-hard batteries you know and trust are now at Advance Auto Parts. That means all the reliability, durability, and power you expect now come with free testing, free installation, and the unrivaled expertise of Advance team members. And you don't even need an appointment. When it's time to hit the road, stop by Advance Auto Parts to start strong with a die-hard battery. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Welcome back into the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. He is Jack Thompson. I am James Pledger. We are filling in for Jason and Rob as they are on a getaway weekend for Labor Day. A little mental health rest for them. We're in the O'Reilly Auto Parts mobile studios. He is perched on top of Thompson Hill. I am contained in the glass box of fun here at ESPN San Antonio as we went to break talking about the NBA playoffs, and they have been fantastic up to this point. And last night, the Los Angeles Clippers, and what we thought might have been a pretty good series.
I thought it was going to be really good.
With Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic and the talent that they have with Michael Porter Jr. and Harris. Like, we thought this was going to be a pretty good series.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was going to be
Did the Clippers just show us who we finally thought they were coming into this bubble?
There's a couple schools of thought I have. For one, I thought, that the Nuggets were going to be really good coming into this series. They're really big. They should be able to match up pretty well with them. They've got length on the wings, good guards. But the Clippers really just showed what the difference between a championship team is and what a hot, good team is. Because they exerted their dominance on both sides of the ball with ease. They made Jokic look silly in the pick and roll defense. They threw endless bodies at Jamal Murray, just tiring him out. They just played championship basketball from start to finish. So if that was just a sample of what's to come, could be a pretty clean sweep.
Yeah, that's the team we expected to see coming into the bubble, as we now are joined by Michael Jimenez, our Rock the Mic 4, the Quattro champion. Mike, the NBA playoffs at this point, did the Clippers really just prove what we all thought they were coming into this bubble?
Oh, most definitely. I'm going to go ahead and say that not only did they do that, but they also proved that Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the NBA. Not only did he dominate offensively, he took Jamal Murray out of the game. And the second that you saw that Murray was not going to do anything offensively, the game was over. It was the fourth option. It was perfect.
Yeah, it really was. It doesn't get any better than that for a game winner. Play breaks down. Quality guard gives your guy a good look. I mean, that's really all you can ask for from your starting point guard. He did what he was supposed to do, what he does on a nightly basis. I've never been a Kyle Lowry fan, but one thing I'll give him, and he is a grinder. He will grind out the whole game. He will keep shooting, and eventually he will hit that bucket that will give them the lead. That's just his game. Ultimate confidence.
Now, does that get the Raptors back into this series, or are the Celtics just that much better and the Raptors just don't have the talent to compete?
The Raptors are playing with house money right now. Okay, there's no road team. There is no home team. It was so great seeing that bucket go in and then just hearing the ball go doom, doom, doom. There was no fans in the stands. It was amazing. But they can now have that whole we're the team of destiny thing going on. You know, we saw that last year with the Raptors when Kawhi made that miraculous shot against Philadelphia. We saw that with Derek Fisher. We've seen that in the past before. If they take that as, hey, we're the team of destiny, they can walk into the gym the rest of the series and knock the Celtics out. And they were my pick to start it out. It wouldn't be surprising, but there's a big difference between 3-0 and 2-1. And man, I'm cheering for the Raptors now. I want to see that Raptors Clippers. I want to see the Raptors go against Kawhi and see what happens then.
Jack, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great shot, a great play, but you could, on the other end, the Raptors, they hang their hat on being a defensive stopping team. You're not going to get anything easy. You're not going to execute throughout the game, and you're going to have to hit tough shots. But you see the very previous play, Kemba Walker easily drove the paint, gave a beautiful no-look dime baseline for a game-winning bucket. Like, it was literally the same thing on the other end. So while that was a great shot and it may give Toronto some confidence, I don't think that they stack up in the long run to the Celtics. I think the star power on the Celtics is too much.
And Texas A&M's own Robert Williams is playing some heads-up basketball.
Hey, I told you. He was going to have to be big.
I told you this was the series where he could come in because of the size of them.
Yep. Robert Williams, man, if he can just keep the motor up, he's going to make mistakes. He's a young guy, but if he can just keep the motor up and just protect the rim, just so valuable for this team.
Now, taking a look at tonight's matchups, the Rockets coming fresh off of Game 7, in which James Harden did not play well, but down the stretch made the clutch plays he needed to, especially when the shot's not falling for him. He made the play defensively, and he gets roasted about his defense a lot, but he proved not only can he play great defense, but that the play leading up to that, to where if he leaves Steven Adams too early to go out to Dort, that's an easy layup for Steven Adams. So the way that he played that in the final seconds was incredible. And does that give them the confidence going into this? Because they took this series from the Lakers in the regular season 2-1, and Russell Westbrook averaged 38 points a game during those 3 games.
I mean, the way I look at it, 2 things have to happen for the Rockets to be competitive and ultimately try and take this series. One being, like you said, Russ has got to come out and be the dominant force that we know him to be. He can't force the jump shots that the Lakers are going to allow him to have. He's got to force the action at the rim. And 2 is kind of both sides. How dominant is AD going to come out? Is he going to come out and play back to the basket, let me dominate you ball, which he should against this tiny Rockets team? Or is he going to try and be a jump shooter and try and exploit that mismatch that the Rockets ultimately want him to do? And on the other side, can PJ Tucker stand up to the dominance that AD has been showing? It'll be interesting.
AD's been nice, but the Rockets do something that the Lakers couldn't take advantage of against the Blazers, and that's make them go get Dwight Howard off the floor, get JaVale McGee, get all their bigs minus AD off the floor, and really make them spread the court with a bunch of smaller guys, whether it's Caruso or Danny Green. Like, all their smaller guys are going to have to be on the floor at some point, because they can't bring out Dwight Howard. They can't bring out their bigs, because that's what the Rockets are going to look for to exploit.
I agree with that 100%. You know, who's going to exert their will? Is it going to be the big lineup of the Lakers, or is it going to be the small ball of the Rockets? And I kind of think that the Rockets have a little bit of an advantage with that, because they can just keep running. And you mentioned players like Danny Green. Danny Green, are we going to see? Are we going to see the Danny Green of this year, who's been struggling? Or are we going to see the Danny Green of 3 or 4 years ago, where he was just a baller? Caruso as well. You know, which Caruso are we going to see? Are we going to see the baller? Or are we going to be the one that's going to come out there and just kind of ho-hum it out there? I think the Rockets.
Which Kyle Kuzma are we going to see?
Yeah, which one are we going to see of the small guys of the Lakers? So I think this one has a 6 or 7 game series written all over it. LeBron likes to play up to the crowd, but there's no crowd. I absolutely love the bubble. I still think I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
It's so AAU.
Oh, it is. It's completely AAU, and it's pure basketball. And the officials, as much grief as they've been getting this past week, get to actually call it the way that they see it, as opposed to having fans interact with that. We don't have to worry about the Staples Center crowd or the Houston crowd or anything like that. Personally, I think it's going to go 6 or 7 games. Wouldn't be surprised either way, but if I had a bet, I'd bet the Lakers.
Finally, on the other side, the Bucks are in dire straits against the Miami Heat, as Jimmy Buckets has been going off against them. And this is a team that's exerting their will defensively against the Milwaukee Bucks. And you look at it, and an early exit by the Bucks again, after a team that was on pace to win 70 in the regular season. Could an early exit by the Bucks start changing the strategy for Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's coming up on free agency with a lot of teams opening up cap space for the year that he does become a free agent? And if he doesn't see himself, because let's face it, the Bucks aren't a team that's really going to go over the luxury tax. They're already kind of strapped, giving money to Brook Lopez and that huge contract to Chris Middleton, which is it's a max deal, but is Chris Middleton a max player that can really play alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo. So will that lead to his exit in Milwaukee if they can't put together a roster around him that can help him get to a finals?
I would say definitely. I mean, Giannis is going to be back-to-back MVP probably, more than likely. And he wins 70-plus games in the regular season, but it seems every year in the playoffs that just something happens and they fall short. So you would think a guy like that definitely wants a change of scenery to keep his prime rolling.
You would think that Giannis is not that type of guy. He's always portrayed himself to being a good company guy, all about the Bucks and the organization and things like that. But if he's going to stay, he would only stay, I think, if he thinks that this team is good enough now to win. Because it's not going to get any better than it is now, because you mentioned Middleton's contract. I mean, he's a good player. He averages 20 points a game. But we're talking about the next 3 years of $33 million, $35 million, and then $38 million. They're strapped. They're not going to be able to bring people on. So if this team is not good enough and now he's entering his prime, why would he stay if this team is as good as it's going to be? If it's not good enough to win now, why would it be good enough to win next year when we have teams like Golden State getting better, when we have teams getting deeper and younger?
Yeah, they've got to go against Brooklyn next year. I mean, good luck with that.
That's a team that is not only has superstars in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant to lead them next season, but they've got emerging, budding, young possible stars and Karis LeVert and Spencer Dinwiddie. I mean, they've got talent. And Jared Allen.
Jared Allen too.
I mean, they've got a lot of talent on that roster, and that's a team that is going to be odds-on favorites to come out of the East next season. He is Jack Thompson. You can follow him on Twitter at Jack_Thompson33. He is Michael Jimenez, our Rock the Mic 4 champion. You can follow him on Twitter at 210 Fantasy God. He is the co-host of the Fantasy Gods, which you can catch right here on ESPN San Antonio's Sundays, 11 to noon, to get you ready for your fantasy football day. And we're going to talk some fantasy football coming up, but next, NFL roster cuts have been going around. We're starting to see a lot of players hit the open market. Are any of these names enticing for the Dallas Cowboys? We'll talk about that next right here on the Saturday Morning Hangover on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
We're number one on Kate Upton's presets.
Okay, we probably are.
But how awesome would that be?
Yes, I was.
Hi, Kate. San Antonio sports leader.
1250 ESPN San Antonio
and 94.5 FM.
all day, every day.
Are you looking for authentic sausage, the kind you could find in butcher shops back in the old days? Then Kielbasa smoked sausage is what you've been looking for. You see, at Kielbasa, they make their legendary smoked sausage in small 150-pound batches with only fresh, high-quality ingredients, never frozen meat. They don't add fillers or chemicals that you can't pronounce. Kielbasa sausage is smoked over real hardwood, the way they did it back in 1949 when Kielbasa was started right here in San Antonio, and that great sausage is still made here in town over there on South Brazos Street. You see, at Kielbasa, they're on a mission to reintroduce you to authentic smoked meats. So you know when you buy Kielbasa brand sausage, you're getting the very best, most authentic smoked sausage you'll ever eat. If it's not the best you've ever tasted, call Michael Kielbasa. He'll give you your money back. His number is on the back of every package sold. Kielbasa sausage is available at Walmart, and you can also find Kielbasa sausage, bacon, chorizo, and those breakfast links at an H-E-B near you. So go get some Kielbasa today.
Thomas J. Henry recently recovered $20 million for a back injury in a product liability case. If you were hurt in an accident, we can help. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio to start your claim today. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Injuries happen even during a crisis. When they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, sports injuries, dislocations, and sprains and strains. With 2 locations, they have extended hours Monday through Saturday, on-site x-ray, casting, and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury with no urgent care or emergency room copay. Injured? Get to Ortho Now. Visit TSAOG.com/Ortho Now for more information. Everyone loves Rico's Nachos, but not everyone enjoys them in exactly the same way. If you're a natural-born risk taker, you're a nacho high roller. You go all in when it comes to your nachos. To win big at snack or mealtime, you bet it all on crispy nacho chips, cheesy molten goodness, and spicy jalapenos. With Rico's Nachos, you're always a winner. Rico's Nachos are available at H-E-B, Walmart, and other grocery and club stores. For more info, go to ricos.com. Rico's, how to nacho.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
After falling to the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1982 NBA Finals, the 76ers needed to find the right player to build the ultimate winning team. In September of '82, they acquired restricted free agent Moses Malone. They went on to rack up a 65-17 regular season record and followed that up with a 12-1 postseason record. Malone won the regular season and NBA Finals MVP award.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Adding a leader you need right when you need them. That's how sports teams get ahead and how your business can too. LinkedIn will match the right talent with your open roles fast. Post a job and you'll get great candidates with the right mix of skills, interest, and experience. So every hire you make is a win for your business. Go to linkedin.com/sports and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back into this Blitz right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. No Saturday morning hangover tomorrow, so we took over the Blitz today.
Yep. Kicked them out.
A little Labor Day weekend. We figured since we're not doing our show tomorrow, let's do it today. And to do so, we brought in Michael Jimenez, the Rock the Mic 4 champ, to join us as we have some breaking news.
ESPN San Antonio. Breaking news.
ESPN or NFL Network's Tom Pelissero reports that Cowboys defensive end Randy Gregory has been reinstated by the NFL as of today. He has been reinstated and can report to the Cowboys on Monday, but won't be allowed to practice until October the 5th, and he can't play in his first game until after week 6. So week 7 would be the first week that Randy Gregory would be able to play an NFL game for the Dallas Cowboys. But he's back, guys. After all this pomp and circumstance, the enigma that is Randy Gregory is back for the Dallas Cowboys. On a scale of 1 to 8,756, how excited are you? Jack, you're the Cowboys fan.
Cheer for the Cowboys. I mean, the thing. One out of 8,756. I know Cowboy fans are 1 in 8,755. Okay, because Gerald McCoy, all the big pickups this summer. Gerald McCoy, Clinton Dix, they have something in common. They're not on the team anymore, right? So I think Cowboy fans were getting a little bit antsy. I was on Twitter all morning, and everyone was saying, "Hey, how about that Randy Gregory guy? Come on, NFL!" So it's like there was that groundswell. People they spent such a high draft pick on him. I think Cowboy fans should be cautiously optimistic about this whole thing.
Jack, you're a Cowboys fan. On a scale of 1 to 8,573, how excited are you? It's a sliding scale.
Probably like half that, I would say.
About 4,000?
Yeah, about 4,000 range. I mean, it's good to have him back. It's been a long time coming, but we are adding him to what might be the deepest position group besides maybe wide receiver that we have on the team. So while it's cool to have him back, he wasn't necessarily a spot that we needed to bring someone in. We have plenty of serviceable guys on the edge, especially 2 supreme talents in Tank and Everson now. So it's cool to have him back. It'll definitely be sort of like a morale thing, like, welcome back, dude. Good to have you back, but you're probably not going to play that much. Sorry.
Truth. Well, the Cowboys did look at some help on the back end. Pelissero also reported that the Cowboys spoke with Brandon Carr today.
Oh, wow.
Our friend RJ Ochoa, the original Rock the Mic champ, tweeted out the fact that the last time Brandon Carr was a Cowboy, the Cowboys went 13-3.
Hey.
Did they win the Super Bowl that year? Did they go to the NFC Championship game that year? Don't remember.
No, they don't. But it helps.
All right, guys.
It helps to solidify a position that is been talked about a lot. The secondary, both the corners and the safeties. There have been multiple questions about both, and we know that Brandon Carr is a serviceable corner. He's a guy that's going to go in there and just kind of do his job. He's not going to be an all-pro anymore. He's not going to be a Pro Bowler, but he's going to go in there and he's going to give you quality snaps.
Yeah, and he's a veteran. You know, if you take a look, if you were a Cowboy fan just 2 weeks ago, you were looking at this team and thinking to yourself, man, this has the makings of a top 10 defense, maybe even as high as a top 7 or a top 8 defense. But
from the linebackers forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but then you kind of figure that at least HaHa would hold his ground and Cheeto would take another leap forward. But now they're taking in water, man. There's some holes in that defense. As Jack mentioned, there are certain spots with like Everson and places like that where they're really good. But there's some holes in the defense now that weren't there 2 weeks ago, and that's caused us concern.
Yeah, he's right about that. But I mean, as far as HaHa's camp had been going, that hole may have been there from the jump.
Yeah,
that may have been coming. We probably thought about cutting him for a while now.
Well, guys, there is this guy named Earl Thomas sitting out there.
I think I've heard about him once or twice. He's a fan of the Cowboys, I think.
He is. I hear that he wanted them to come get him at one point.
I don't know how much I believe it at this point. He's been saying that for a while.
The question becomes, because Kevin Turner of 105.3 The Fan tweeted out, "Happy Friday, everyone. This was early this morning. Doesn't have much to do with the HaHa Clinton Dix release, but I can guarantee Pim will hit paper. But after originally thinking they were going to try and wait until after week 1, I now think Earl Thomas is a Dallas Cowboy in the next 48 hours. A market has developed. If a market's developed,
that means other people are talking
That means
to him.
other people are also talking to him, which means, did the Cowboys drag their feet on this too long? And have they possibly missed the chance to upgrade with Earl Thomas at safety?
Well, it depends on what he wants. Does he want to win or does he want to have a payday? I mean, that's basically it. Now, Earl Thomas, this is not, Legion of Boom Earl Thomas. I mean, he's still a good player. He's had some injuries the last few seasons. So, I mean, if the price is right, it would be smart for the Cowboys to make an attempt to go get him, but it shouldn't, they can't break the bank to bring him on in. At this point in his career, though, you're going to see a lot of players, year 10, 11, they want to go play where they want to play oftentimes. So if it's not that far off from the max offer he's getting someplace else, I wouldn't be surprised with him being with the Cowboys.
Another name to keep an eye on, if not Earl Thomas. The Los Angeles Raiders made some cuts today. One of the people they cut was a safety by the name of Demarius Randall. And Demarius Randall may not seem like it's something that has a lot of ties, but Mike McCarthy drafted him in 2015 in the first round with the Green Bay Packers when he was there. So he's a guy that knows Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy knows him. And there's a possibility to at least add someone who's got some familiarity, at least with the coaching staff, the same way that they tried to do when they brought in HaHa Clinton Dix. HaHa.
HaHa. You're gone. But I like Demarius Randall. He's definitely a good guy to bring in. He's not going to come in and necessarily do amazing things.
And he'll likely be cheaper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would hope he would be cheaper than Earl Thomas or something's up. But he's had last year's probably his most down year in with the Raiders. But prior to that, he was averaging about 4 interceptions a year with about 60 to 70 total tackles, assisted and solo. So, I mean, he's a good guy to bring in that'll definitely help the back end of the defense, but it won't bring the same sort of like star power and sort of gravitas that an Earl Thomas would bring.
Yeah, we all know something's up. I mean, when HaHa was waived a couple of days ago, It wasn't he was waived. It was he was waived / we saved $1.5 million on the cap.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they know these aren't surprise moves. They know players that are going to be released or there's something going on. Whether they've targeted that one person, I don't know. But obviously backdoor, I don't know. I think they have something up. They knew it when they dropped Haha. So they'll be bringing somebody in, obviously.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting because there's always those surprises during roster cuts. There's somebody that got waived that you didn't expect, or that you'd heard rumors that maybe he might be available, so you kind of cross your fingers hoping. John Ross is one of those guys, a wide receiver, former first-round pick up in Cleveland, that you hear is on the roster bubble up in Cincinnati. So
I didn't know that. It's a viable guy.
John Ross is a dude with a lot of speed.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, he's going to help some team, not the Cowboys probably, just because they're set. Their receiving core is pretty much set.
We need a receiver.
But I mean, in terms of guys with a name that could become available, Demarius Randall's another one of them, is a guy that was signed in the offseason by the Raiders. You didn't expect him to be in the first wave of cuts, yet here he is, and he's available. And now there's a tie with Mike McCarthy here in Dallas that possibly, if not Earl Thomas, possibly him, and just a way to upgrade. You added Brandon Carr in the secondary, you added Demarius Randall. It's not huge upgrades, but it is an upgrade to the entirety of the group. And when you're talking about a group that's that dominant in the front seven, minor upgrades on the backside can pay huge dividends.
Oh yeah.
Just patch the holes, make the team a little bit more complete. I mean, you don't need to have a Pro Bowl talent at every position. They have the star players on the defense. They just need to have those position players who are just going to fill in the gaps, not
just the glue guys.
Yep.
Dirty work.
He is Michael Jimenez, our Rock the Mic 4 champion, and also our fantasy god. Catch him this Sunday with Brandon Medina on the Fantasy Gods. That is 11 to noon right here on ESPN San Antonio. You can follow him on Twitter at 210 Fantasy God. He is Jack Thompson, my Saturday morning co-host on The Hangover. You can follow him on Twitter at Jack_Thompson33. I am James Pledger. You can follow me at I am Pledger and follow ESPN San Antonio at ESPN_SA. Well, Mariah Carey let the cat out of the bag, guys. She let the cat out of the bag. How bad was it? We'll get into it next right here on the Blitz, right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
ESPN San Antonio is your home for the Texas Rangers.
This is Elvis Andrews of the Texas Rangers.
Brought to you by GPS of Texas.
Rangers Baseball on 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Do you feel stuck in pain? Do you have something that bothers you that keeps you from doing things that you love? If you do, stop. Get yourself out of pain. Call my friends over at Arasti. Arasti providers are all around San Antonio, and they specialize in successfully resolving those most chronic pain and soft tissue injuries that bother so many of us, those sprains and pulls that just nag and drag our everyday life. If you're like me, I've got lower back issues. I continually seem to throw it out. Now, it's a kind of thing that's not going to just go away, but I do know how to fix it on the regular basis and keep myself healthier longer through going to Arasti. I learned how my body works through them, and I know how to take care of myself when I do get it hurt. They get me right back out of pain. I maintain it with all the great instruction I got from my Arasti provider, but also the website. Do not live in pain. When you call an Arasti provider, you know they're going to accept most insurances, and you're never going to need a referral to see an Arasti provider. Write this number down, 1-800-404-6050. Again, 1-800-404-6050, Arasti.com. Check it out for all of the information. Call Arasti today. Do not let pain keep you from doing things that you love. You call them today. I know one thing for sure. You'll thank me later.
Blake Stevens with San Antonio-based GPS of Texas. If you have commercial vehicles on the road, you're a target for personal injury lawyers. I mean, you're wearing a bullseye. Our system can protect you if there is an accident with proof of speed, video monitoring, even proof that your driver wasn't on his phone. Don't get hammered. Have real proof that you weren't at fault by installing our GPS camera tracking system. Call GPS of Texas at 444 210-587-7634 or gpsoftexas.com.
Drafting from home this year? Twin Peaks has the perfect package for you. Order a 2020 Twin Peaks draft kit to take to the house party. It's everything your league needs to really score. Featuring draft packs available for takeout or delivery starting at $75. Includes 96 wings for the league, a $50 bonus card for the commissioner, plus a $5 bonus card for every league player, and all the gear to include a draft board and player stickers. For more info, visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/fantasy draft.
At Diamonds Direct right now, there's nothing standing in your way of owning that magnificent piece of jewelry. Nothing. No down payment and no finance charges for 5 whole years. People are driving for hours to do this. On any purchase, just take that amazing Diamonds Direct price, divide by 60, and that's your payment. It's a smart way to buy. Keep your money in your pocket and still get that amazing ring or band or bracelet, even that bigger diamond. 5 years, 0 interest on any purchase on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
Hitting the road this summer? Do what truck drivers do. Bring plenty of 5-Hour Energy. You'll get the alert, energized feeling you need to get where you're going and do everything you want to do when you get there. It's small, light, and portable, like it was made for road trips. Just crack it open, knock it back, and keep both hands on the wheel. Because when it comes to road trips...
Are we there yet?
Safety comes first. 5-Hour Energy. Energy on the go. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
There are people who say things aren't made here anymore. Those people should make a trip to Michigan or Kentucky or Illinois, where you'll find our workers and dealers and engineers and technicians building at the Ford Motor Company, the same way we have for over a century, in the same place, for the same reason. Built for America.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I am James Pledger, filling in for Rob Thompson. Jack Thompson, my Saturday morning co-host, filling in for Jason Minix. And, of course, we brought in one of the fantasy gods, the Quattro, our Rock the Mic 4 champ, Michael Jimenez, joining us here today. Before we get into this Mariah Carey stuff, a little bit of more breaking news as SMU has a game tomorrow in San Marcos against the Texas State Bobcats. Well, they've already had a game postponed as the following weekend's game on September the 11th against TCU, Big 12 team, postponed because members of TCU have already tested positive for coronavirus, and that game has now been postponed as TCU in a statement said that they are looking and monitoring dates throughout the season to potentially make up that game.
I hope they do, man. I mean, those are obviously pretty much rivals. They're so close to each other. We're going to be seeing a lot more of this, unfortunately, as the college football season goes on.
But think about it, though. It doesn't say how many positive cases, but you go through contact tracing, all that. If one or a few or however many people this is test positive, this is going to be not just the college football season. This is going to be football to where we're going to see games possibly postponed, canceled, whatever it may be throughout the season. If we start to see tests come back positive, and it's going to be a very tumultuous season in terms of fans biting their nails week to week, just hoping that they're clean and free, because we've gone through this off season very as a matter of fact when it comes to COVID-19, because we haven't had games to have to worry about, and it was far away, and we figured they could possibly get things under control by then. And for the most part, the NFL has, and we've seen most college programs start to do that. But we hear about TCU today. We heard about Oklahoma testing positive with a few players a few weeks ago. So as the season draws closer, this is going to be something to keep an eye on and monitor, because there aren't going to be more than a couple of open dates in the season for teams to make up games. And for TCU, this is supposed to be their warm-up game to get them into conference schedule. Now they got to go into conference schedule raw.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the Big Ten really made that stand earlier this year saying that they were going to go off into the spring. So let's,
Well, now they're talking about a late August or October.
I know, but I know they're kind of waffling on it, right?
Pac-12 has not. Pac-12 still looking at spring.
Yeah. But, it's going to be one of those things where it's easier said than done. But these bowl games, are they really going to happen in December? Are they really going to happen in January? Let's make those moves. Let's push them back a little bit.
And if something like this happens mid-season and are we going to see the game just postponed? Are we going to see it canceled and the team finishes with only 8 games on its record? Is that going to be made up after the fact? Are we going to start to see the possibility of some of those BCS dates move back so that they can get all these games that they possibly missed back in? This is going to be interesting, especially that's TCU. Imagine if it's a Texas, if it's an Oklahoma, if it's a Clemson, if it's an Alabama, if it's a team that possibly has a shot at playing in those BCS championship games. What are the rules going to be, and how is this going to affect the college football season as we move forward?
Yeah, there's definitely a ton of what ifs and variables moving forward. The best solution to me, anyway, is off the top of my head, like you said, would be trying to move those BCS bowl games back and sort of give some sort of cushion period to where you have an amount of time to maybe play some of those games that could potentially be postponed or hopefully not canceled, so that maybe we can go into the playoffs or whatever we're doing postseason with everyone sort of playing the same amount of games. It would be kind of hard to judge teams that didn't play the same amount of games.
It's not quite like baseball where you can't make up a game with the doubleheader, a 7-inning double. Yeah. We can't have 1/2 doubleheaders in football, unfortunately. Yep. But it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this plays out as we move forward throughout not just the college football season, but the NFL season as well, because that's a schedule you've got one bye week. There's not a whole lot of leeway if games get postponed and pushed back because of this, and how will they handle this throughout the season? And it's very interesting that this has already happened before the season's even started for either of these programs, and they're still technically over a week out, and they're already postponing this game. So it's going to be interesting to monitor as it moves forward because of the way football's played. Contact tracing, you're basically going to have to shut down a team in terms of if someone tests positive, because there is no way to social distance in practice. You can do it in the meetings and stuff all you want, but on the field, these guys are still going to be hitting each other. They're still going to be breathing on each other. They're still going to be sweating all over one another. They're still going to be in each other's faces. How do you handle what's coming, and is there going to be a sliding scale with either of these schedules as we move forward?
No, understood. But, they have some time that second, third week of December. I mean, most are off at that point. I know some bowl games are going on, but that's going to be because each team has one bye week doesn't necessarily mean that they both have the same bye week.
The NFL, each team has one bye week, and there's not a lot of room on their schedule. Right. Yeah, college football, you've got one bye week, but you've got weeks in between the championship games and maybe even after that. I mean, you're right. There is time there, but I'm saying specifically for the NFL, there's not a lot of leeway in that schedule to make up games.
Not at all. Not at all.
He is Michael Jimenez. Jack Thompson. I am James Pledger. We are filling in for Jason Minix and Rob Thompson here on the Blitz. When we come back, 5 o'clock, we're going to get into this college football stuff, and especially what we were just talking about with Taylor McHargue of ESPN Houston and Sports Talk 790. That's coming up next right here on the Blitz.
Alamo Water Softeners presents Hoochomania 2020, a live social stream event to help benefit the San Antonio Humane Society. Saturday, September 26th at 11 a.m. on the ESPNSA.com website, Facebook, and YouTube channels. Enter your pup now in the costume contest and the Crazy Dog Tricks contest. Register and upload your pics now at ESPNSA.com. Brought to you in part by the Express News, Jeff's Backyard, and VCA Animal Hospitals.
Northeast Independent School District is now hiring and training school bus drivers. Whether you're looking for a new job, you're a retiree, or you're retired military, come help drive students to succeed and apply at Northeast ISD Transportation today. No experience is necessary, and you will get paid while earning your CDL and learning how to drive a school bus. The Northeast ISD Transportation Department is ranked as one of the top 100 school bus fleets in America, and our drivers receive exceptional pay and benefits, including health, dental, vision, and retirement. If you're looking for work, if you're retired from the military, or you simply want to make a difference in our community, apply now with the Northeast ISD Transportation Department. Join our team and discover Northeast ISD by calling 210-356-9229. That's 210-356-9229. Or you can text Drive Bus to 797979. That's text Drive Bus to 797979.
Hitting the road this summer? Do what truck drivers do. Bring plenty of 5-hour energy. You'll get the alert, energized feeling you need to get where you're going and do everything you want to do when you get there. It's small, light, and portable, like it was made for road trips. Just crack it open, knock it back, and keep both hands on the wheel. Because when it comes to road trips,
are we there yet?
Safety comes first. 5-hour energy. Energy on the go. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
Capital One checking and savings accounts have no fees or minimums, and a top-rated banking app that lets you manage your money anytime, anywhere, even from your favorite hiking trail. With Capital One's app, you can check your balance, deposit checks, pay bills, and transfer money from wherever you are, anytime you want, even when you're cooking dinner. Open a fee-free checking or savings account online in about 5 minutes. This is banking reimagined. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Consumer accounts only. Approval required. Terms apply. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
KCDC San Antonio.
This is UFC President Dana White. San Antonio sports leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio.
And 94.5 FM, where the pros play. Jason Minutes, Rob Thompson, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I am James Pledger. He is Jack Thompson. Michael Jimenez joining us right now as Jason Minix and Rob Thompson took the day off today. So it is a get-away Friday for those guys. But what are you doing? It's 5:01 on a Friday on a Labor Day weekend. Get the heck out of there. Go ahead and enjoy your weekend as we just got done talking about some college football. A little bit more to get into as we're joined by Taylor McHargue, a former Rice quarterback and an analyst for ESPN Houston, Sports Talk 790. Taylor McHargue, thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome onto the Blitz.
I appreciate it, guys. How are you guys doing?
Doing real good. Now, we just got done talking about it. The breaking news, TCU had a rash of positive tests up there and have already postponed their game for next weekend, their opener against SMU. What are the ramifications of this moving forward as they look to monitor dates throughout the season to potentially make this game up?
Yeah, I think this is something that people need to get comfortable with, and it's unfortunate this happened. This was one that a lot of people earmarked as, this slate of games tomorrow on Saturday. We're excited about, obviously, but this next Friday's game was the first sort of big matchup, if you will, that people were excited about. But we need to get comfortable with just understanding this is going to happen, and the goal is to try and get through the full season. And if you have to cancel and postpone and then move to a different date, as long as we get this season completed, that's what's most important. And obviously, there's outbreaks are going to happen. You're going to have these positive cases pop up. What we saw with UCA a week ago, it was great that they got through that game, traveled, tested kids, and they were able to play against UAB. But the reality is these flare-ups are going to happen. So I think right now the shock is, everybody's upset and wish that they could have been able to play. But the most important thing is getting through, the longevity of the season and get the season completed.
And, as they get through the season, how are they going to get through the season? I know there's at least a couple of opportunities because of bye weeks to make up games and the possibility before conference championship games, there's a little buffer period there. But if we see multiple instances on whether it's a single program or throughout the college football, how do they navigate this? Is there a way that they can kind of have a sliding scale with the season and kind of push back, whether it's the BCS or the conference championship games, to possibly finish out seasons? Or are we going to see some teams finish with 10 games and some teams finish with 8 games?
That piece is very likely, and I think you're already seeing that with some teams are playing out of conference and some teams are not. The other thing is, the Big 12 has released their number is 53 active guys in order to be eligible to play in a game. So in order to get the game off, you got to have 53 guys healthy that have not tested positive for COVID. So that number is going to be key. And I think a lot of teams, 53 is sort of an arbitrary number. I think it could float a little bit higher, not much lower, but there will be games that get canceled throughout the year that just aren't played. To your point, what remains to be seen is what does the college football playoff do if you get towards the end of the year and there's an issue with a team that looks like there's going to be they're a Final Four team. And I don't know the answer to that, and I don't think anybody does yet. I think it's going to be a fluid situation, and don't be surprised if we get into November and even December and things get shuffled around where it gets pushed back a week or two in order to ensure that championship games are played and that the playoff is played.
Taylor McCarr joining us from Sports Talk 790 in Houston. Speaking of SMU, they do have a game this weekend as they will be just down the road in San Marcos taking on the Texas State Bobcats. I know they've got a great player and former Longhorn quarterback Shane Buechele at the helm at SMU, but the Texas State Bobcats, what do they have? Because they've got a Conference USA foe on their schedule the following week in the UTSA Roadrunners. What can we expect out of Texas State this upcoming season?
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for Texas State. I earlier today saw this is going to be their first game hosting on ESPN. They've had some ESPN2, ESPNU type of matchups, especially prior to going up to the FBS level. I think the biggest thing for them is just to have a positive performance. SMU should win this game, but this is an opportunity to come out and make a statement and put your best foot forward as a program. But Shane Buechele, SMU has all the makings of really making a run at the American Conference this year. They've got a lot of guys coming back on that team. But if you're a Texas State program that you've never had a game on ESPN, and frankly, if you look at the slate tomorrow on ESPN, they're going to have all the eyeballs on them. There really is no other matchup in that. I think it's a 3:00 kick. Mm-hmm. There's no other game in that time slot. So they're a little bit outmatched with this SMU team, but I think if they could put a positive effort forward, I think it goes a long way for the program.
What about the job that Jake Spavital has in front of him, coming, from West Virginia and Texas A&M, and trying to revive that program and basically build it from the ground up?
Yeah, it's very similar to UTSA, really, where both of these programs, really everything's ahead of them. I was going to say the sky's the limit, but for them, you can't go below really where they've been in recent years. And for both of these teams, they're still looking to find an identity. And a lot of times when you're rebuilding at the lower level of Division I, my Rice Owls are in the same boat. Mm-hmm. You're trying to find that leader at the quarterback position and figure out who your playmakers are. And I think both Texas State and UTSA are in the same boat. And UTSA moving forward, I know we'll touch on them a little bit as well, but both of these programs are really mirroring each other with wanting to put their best foot forward and get some wins early in the schedule to build momentum.
And that's going to make for a very interesting game next week when those two meet. And you talk about UTSA and their new head coach. Got some ties with Texas, got some ties deep within high school football, being the head coach at Gilmer. You look at what they have with Jeff Traylor's trying to build here, and then that quarterback room that they have, bringing in Josh Atkinson, former Smithson Valley Ranger. You've got Frank Harris, the quarterback from Clemens. And who do you see emerging out of this quarterback battle that Is it going to be the transfer? Is it going to be the homegrown guy? Both of them from the area, but who do you see taking the reins and really commanding this offense with UTSA under their new head coach?
Yeah, Jeff Traylor it's a tall task. When you take over, especially first-year head coaches in this environment, I do not envy them in any capacity anywhere in the country.
Well, especially the hand he was dealt with the pandemic offseason too.
That's what I mean. Being a first-year head coach in this environment with COVID, it's a tall task. It's a tall task outside of COVID. For the quarterback room, like you mentioned, Josh Adkins is the guy that I would expect to get the nod. The biggest piece for him, the New Mexico State teams that he played for were not very good, but he's got arm talent. He can spin it. The issue for him is turnovers. At 24 interceptions in 2 seasons, and it's too many. Now you got to go. You look at the tape. You've got receivers in the wrong place. You've got tipped balls that are interceptions. Some of this stuff is not his fault. But regardless of how you slice it, 24 INTs over 2 seasons, it's just too much at the college level. And that piece has to be cleaned up. But if you're a Roadrunner fan, I would expect Josh Adkins to win this job. The biggest piece, regardless of who the quarterback is, offensive line play at UTSA has been well below par for a very long time. They have 3 offensive linemen, offensive starters returning next year, but that offensive line play has got to improve regardless of who you have as the signal caller.
Taylor McHargue of Sports Talk 790 in Houston joining us, former Rice quarterback, as we get into some Conference USA football here. Speaking of which, who are the teams to look out for in Conference USA as this season gets closer and closer?
UAB, before last night, I would have said UAB is the team that I would sort of earmark as the favorite in the West. The East really is wide open every year, sort of as a surprise. FAU is sort of the easy pick with Lane Kiffin, but UAB did not look all that impressive last night against Central Arkansas. I think a part of that is it's the first game in this wild environment that we live in. They had some first half turnovers that if you clean those up, I think that game gets away from Central Arkansas. But as you look at Conference USA on the Western Division, UAB is the likely favorite. I'm doing my best with this next piece to not be a homer, but I will say my Rice Owls bring back a significant piece of their production on offense and defense. And so for Conference USA West, they closed out the season on a high note. And you look at Mike Collins transferring in from TCU at quarterback. That's been the piece for quite a while now, as they've really struggled at the quarterback position. So Conference USA, every year there's a team that pops up that's a surprise. Very rarely does the favorite actually end up winning CUSA. The East, I would say, is more wide open than the West, though.
Taking a look at the Big 12, especially now in light of what's happened with TCU, when we move forward throughout the season, is it an Oklahoma, Texas, Oklahoma State race and everybody else is just trying to keep up, or could what we've seen with TCU just kind of throw this entire conference on its head?
The wild card for me out of the Big 12 that you said is really Oklahoma State. I think there's always a team in the Big 12 that could jump up, and Iowa State could potentially do it. But Oklahoma State, I have for University of Texas, I have that Halloween game against Oklahoma State earmarked as the biggest game of their season.
Wow.
If you look at what Texas has done last year, Texas is playing really strong football, and they go on the road and they lose a couple games in a row, and the season sort of tapers off, and they end up at 7-5. They play Oklahoma State right in the middle of the schedule on the road. The winner of that game, don't be surprised if the winner of that game ends up being the winner of the Big 12. Oklahoma has all the talent in the world. Lincoln Riley's got them running at a high level, and Spencer Rattler, I have all the confidence in the world in him as a player, but he is a first-year starter. But what Oklahoma State has coming back, that team last year came into Austin and should have beat Texas. And I still have a ton of questions about the University of Texas. They're replacing both coordinators. You do that for a reason. I mean, you let go 2/3 of your staff. There's some issues there. And I think if you don't have Sam Ehlinger at quarterback, that's not a bowl team last year for Texas. They had a lot of holes in that roster. So in a lot of ways, the Big 12 still is kind of wide open, but Oklahoma State is my dark horse to jump up and really run the table and potentially get through the whole thing with maybe one loss and win the Big 12.
Taking a look at Texas A&M, how are they going to stack up in the SEC this year? Because you've got LSU, who's lost their quarterback. They've now lost their top wideout, who's decided to opt out for the season, in Jamar Chase. Alabama is going to be Alabama, but where do they kind of stack up in the SEC? Because it feels like a team that could be on the cusp of doing something, and it kind of hinges on Kellen Mond, it feels like.
It absolutely does. Kellen Mond is the guy that makes this go, and when he's on, he's on. The problem for Kellen Mond is he really hasn't played well in big games. When he plays against ranked teams, he just hasn't performed well. And you go back and look, he's got a hair over 50% completion percentage and only 3 touchdowns to 2 interceptions when he's playing against ranked opponents. That's got to change if they want to have a chance at winning the SEC. I've got them as my second ranked, ending the season second in the SEC West behind Alabama, but that could very easily turn into 4th or even 5th. I mean, if LSU, I don't think LSU is actually going to be that good this year, but Auburn and LSU could very easily end up ahead of them. And Lord knows what Mike Leach is going to do with Mississippi State. So the SEC West is always wide open. I have them second. I have them finishing second and Kellen Mond closing out his career on a high note. But if he doesn't perform like he needs to, this team, it could get away from them quickly because this is a challenging schedule. I mean, they're adding Florida from the East. This is going to be a tough run for them.
He is Taylor McHargue, former Rice quarterback. You can hear him on Sports Talk 790 down there in Houston. Taylor, thank you so much for your time today.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Taylor McHargue of Sports Talk 790, former Rice quarterback, joining us here on the Blitz. When we come back, did anybody know it was Kentucky Derby weekend? Anybody?
No.
We've got Derby. We've got the Derby this weekend, and we are going to talk with Dick Girardi from Bet Online AG about some of the prop bets we have going into a very, very weird Kentucky Derby as it has been pushed back into September on Labor Day weekend. That's coming up next right here on the Saturday morning. On the Blitz on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
100% sports, 100% of the time. That's 200% sports.
Your math is blowing my mind.
San Antonio's sports leader. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
Nobody plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend, a coworker, a teammate, you get arrested, somebody you know gets arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, of course you do. The best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number, or check the website, mybestbailbonds.com. You can even start the bonding process there at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, a free shuttle service. Of course, they're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
The Camera Exchange is open for in-store and curbside. Shopping for a Nikon? The Camera Exchange has them. Check out the all-new Nikon Z5, designed for creativity and ease of use, perfect for entry-level photographers. Or the versatile Nikon Z6 or Nikon Z7 mirrorless cameras that allow you to take great photos and 4K video. Depending on your photography needs, these Nikons are perfect and come with a Nikon limited warranty. The Camera Exchange, 1 mile inside Loop 410 on San Pedro. Online at camerax.com.
Hey, what do you want to da-da-da? I don't know. What do y'all think we should da-da-da? Well, what did we da yesterday? Yesterday. All the dolls feel like the same doll these days. I know. Like, is today Monday or Tuesday? Today is Thursday. Oh, no, I forgot to call my mom on her birthday. Oh, no. No.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. That won't change. Not today or any day.
Quote today at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
My sweet cheeks feeling squeaky clean. When Charmin's rolling behind the scenes, Charmin TP gives me those cheeky clean feels. That ultra strong hype is all for reals. Those TP rolls got me a Charmin clean took-it. Cheek to cheek feeling oh so shook-it.
Charmin Ultra Strong just cleans better. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Napa know-how.
Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping and over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $35 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
Right now at Diamonds Direct, pick any piece of beautiful jewelry, get the best price, pay nothing down, and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. It's the easiest and smartest way to buy. 5 years, zero interest financing, and everything's included. From all engagement rings to all bands, bracelets, earrings, and pendants. Don't miss this encore offer for 2020. You can even finance the sales tax. 5 years, zero interest. Now for a limited time at Diamonds Direct. Approved credit. Get store hours, directions, and details now at diamondsdirect.com.
And now another edition of Obvious News from Geico. Obvious News! A study says that soft talkers do not make great radio personalities. We asked local librarian Steve Sage about this, and here's what he said.
Honestly, I don't buy it. I think I make very captivating radio.
Also in Obvious News, Geico makes it easy to save money and easy to manage your policy with the Geico app. So switching is a really smart decision. How does Steve feel about this?
Oh, I love the Geico app. I use it all the time.
That's Obvious News from Geico.
Obvious News.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dealing with battery problems? We've got you. Let's start with a free battery test. If you just need a free charge, we can help with that too. And if it's time for a new battery, we've got you covered. We're the only place you can find Duralast, the batteries more consumers choose. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination, where help is always in stock. Claims based on a proprietary consumer study and data from the MPD Group 2019.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Blitz right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I am James Pledger, filling in for Rob Thompson and Jason Minix. Also with me, my Saturday morning cohort, Jack Thompson, and Michael Jimenez, the Quattro, as we get ready for a Derby weekend on Labor Day weekend. That's right, the Kentucky Derby is this weekend. Surprise, surprise to a lot of people, but probably not a surprise to Dick Girardi, who is joining us via betonline.ag. Mr. Girardi, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this weekend.
Absolutely, guys. Now, if you'd asked me the question, was I surprised in early March? Yeah, I'd have been surprised. But yeah, by late March, we knew it was going to be moved to September. So, yeah, I know it's probably sneaking up on the rest of the world, but it's here.
Do you got your mint juleps ready? Are they in hand?
Absolutely. Unquestionably.
Pictures of them.
So, first thing I have is with the Derby being held now in early September as opposed to May, is there a difference in how the track is going to be because of different seasons possibly, or is there any kind of difference to the track because of the time that it's being run being pushed back so late?
Yeah, I don't think it's the racetrack because the temperature is going to be about 80 degrees tomorrow, which is obviously similar to what we could have gotten in May. More the horses. 3-year-olds in May are not remotely like finished products at that point. Now, 4 months later, they're bigger, stronger, faster, and in most cases better. So in that standpoint, you have, I don't know, maybe an analogy would be like a sophomore football player versus a senior, because horses, like 4 months for a horse could be a couple of years for a human being.
Looking at the Kentucky Derby, who are we looking at? Another Bob Baffert horse? Is that because it just seems like Baffert and the Kentucky Derby, they just go hand in hand?
Yeah, it's interesting. He just had the heavy favorite in the Kentucky Oaks, and she got beat. A horse filly called Gamine. He's not going to be the favorite tomorrow. He's got two horses, Authentic and 1,000 Words. 1,000 Words probably going to be at 12 to 1. Authentic probably be 8 to 1. But the big favorite is Tis the Law, who won the Belmont Stakes, which was run on June 20th, the first leg of this bizarre backward Triple Crown this year. And also has since won the Travers Stakes at Saratoga a month ago. So Tis the Law will be the heavy favorite. So yeah, Baffert is, however, going for Derby win number 6, which would tie him for most all time.
Hey, Dick, Michael Jimenez here. Pleasure meeting you. Just wanted to know, you mentioned Tis the Law. Tis the Law is the kind of odds-on favorite right now. What are we going at right now? What are the odds looking at right now? Because earlier today I saw it as even money. What's he looking at right now?
Yeah, I saw that too. Now, that's with the early betting. They started betting this morning, but that's typically on the Derby, like 2% of the final betting. So it would be like a couple precincts coming in, right, when we need like hundreds. So, yeah, I wouldn't put a lot of faith in that at the moment. My guess is he'll come down closer to 3 to 5 or even 1 to 2 by the time all the betting is over.
Wow. You know, I'm taking a look at it. I was watching the Belmont, and I'm a big horse racing fan. I noticed when you watch Tis the Law race, he gets out clean. He has no issues because he's been racing in fields of 8 to 10 horses. But this time we're looking at 16 horses. He's shooting out of the 17 gates. What do you think that might cause as far as potential issues for him?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a great question. If I know if they'd had their choice, rather they'd be like 1, 2, or 3 or out where they are, they would have taken outside for this reason. With a 16-horse field, the possibilities for traffic trouble are there. Even if you have to go less of a distance by being near the rail, you could get boxed in, the horse could get uncomfortable. In fact, that's the only time Tis the Law lost, when he was sort of inside horses. So I actually think the 17 post is fine for him. And as you said, in the Belmont, he sat like 3rd or 4th the whole way and then was always in the clear. I can envision something very similar in this race, like coming out of the first turn, he's going to be maybe 3rd or 4th, only a couple of legs back. Because most of those horses, say in the 1 through 10 or 12 post, they're not really that fast. So the race is more like a 4 or 5 horse race from the better horses, which in this case are almost all outside.
Dick Girardi of betonline.ag joining us right here on the Blitz. As you look at this year's field, if I were to go further down the money line, where's some of the horses that give me really good odds for my money if I'm looking to kind of place a flyer, whether it's because they got a good starting gate position or you feel like they're just kind of undervalued? Where's a good place to kind of put my money if I'm looking down the line?
So here's 2 that I think are undervalued. 13 attachment rate is listed as 50 to 1 in the morning line. I don't think he's going to go up at that high. But you can see when you watch his tapes, he's getting a little better. If there's a chance that he could peak tomorrow, and if everything breaks right, he could have a chance to win. Same with New York Traffic, the 15, whose each race this year has gotten a little better than the previous race. But I think the way to actually play the race is make Tis the Law the winner, make him a free space on top, and play a couple exactas with Tis the Law over New York Traffic and attachment rate. By the numbers, that would be 17-13 and 17-15. That's kind of the long shots that I'm looking at in the Derby.
So I'm really fascinated by the fact that not only is Tis the Law going off at the 17, you mentioned the traffic coming out. The 16 horse, Honor AP, is the speedster. It's the one that sets the pace. So either Tis the Law is going to either have to go head-to-head with that horse and go wide, or potentially just let him go by and then just kind of meander his way and try to catch up as the race goes along.
Yeah.
Am I thinking too much into this?
No. Yeah, you're thinking fine. You always gotta, when you're at a horse race or think about a horse race, you got to get a picture in your mind, a mental picture of how the race is going to be run. Where are different horses going to be in the race? How is that going to help or hurt potential contenders? The one thing I would disagree with you with, I think Authentic is going to be in front, not Honor AP. Honor AP has only been in front once in his 5 races, and I don't really think they want him in front. But I think Authentic is right outside of Tisdalaw. I think they're going to send him to the front. And again, if Tisdalaw is going to be in a great spot, he's going to be just outside of Authentic as they get into the first turn. And I can see Honor AP just outside of Tisdalaw because he's certainly fast enough to be in the vicinity. I just don't think they're going to put him on the lead. That would surprise me.
Dick Girardi of betonline.ag joining us here on the Blitz. Now, looking at this Kentucky Derby, did they set any kind of crowd for the Derby this year, or is there COVID restrictions? Is it going to be held without fans? Do we know exactly how it's going to go? Because I know that's one of the biggest parties every year.
Yeah, no, we do know. No fans. They were hoping to get like 22,000 as of 2 weeks ago. And then I think there was enough of an issue around Louisville that they made the decision that they were just going to refund all that money. So the only people at the track tomorrow will be like officials, people with NBC, owners of horses can come, trainers can come. Obviously the jockeys are going to be there, but yeah, unfortunately no fans. So the parties will have to be either somewhere else in Louisville or at your house.
One of my favorite prop bets that I've seen out and about is, will all the members in the circle, the winner's circle, be wearing masks? I think it's a great prop bet. So when I place bets on racing, I love horse racing. When I place bets, I always look at the jockeys and trainers. And Mike Smith, we're going back to Honor AP. I mean, 9 Triple Crown race wins. You know, he got the Triple Crown with Justify. I take a look at him, and I trust him more than Manuel Franco. And Tisdalaw may actually be the better horse, and it probably is the better horse. But I look at it, and I take a look at Mike Smith, Money Mike, and I take a look at John Velasquez also on Authentic as well. Those are two that I trust more than more experience. Do you believe in experience for jockeys when it comes to a race like the Kentucky Derby, especially with a field of 16 horses?
I think it's helpful. I think the fact that Tisdalaw is outside gives Manny Franco fewer decisions that he has to make. And look, you mentioned 2 of the, figure out where you want to put them on the top 10 list. They're somewhere on the list. Johnny B and Mike, obviously 2 of the greats of all time. So yeah, you always like to have them, but Franco's one of the best young riders in the country. And as I tell people, and look, jockeys are important, but they call it horse racing for a reason. They don't call it jockey racing. You ain't got no horse. It doesn't matter who the jockey is. You can't run fast. I always compare the horses to the players. Like the coaches get all the credit. Well, if they don't have any players, they're not winning. Like Greg Popovich is still a great coach, right? He's not as good as he was when he doesn't have Tim Parker or Tim Duncan and Tony Parker.
All right, Pledge. Put me down for the record.
Okay.
We can play this next week when it hits. $14 bet. I'm gonna do a $1, 16 over 17 overall. Make it a $14 bet. That's mine.
I love it. That's awesome.
Dick Girardi of betonline.ag. Before we get you out of here, what is just a weird kind of prop bet that you would suggest to take into the weekend?
Yeah, I think the best of the prop bets, if you're looking at the BetOnline AG sheet here, and there's a bunch of fun ones here. We'll Bob Bapper train.
I love CD. Give me CD.
Yeah. I'm going to give you the winning margin of victory, over under, straight up bet, right? Just even money, a length and a half. If you think, as I do, Tisdalaw is going to win, if you look at his 6 wins, never won by fewer than 3 lengths. So you get even money on over a length and a half, and you're going to get 3 to 5 for him to win. If he wins, he's going to win probably by a lot. So yeah, that's a better bet to me than betting him straight up.
Nice. All right. So a length and a half over, take the over on Tisdalaw.
That's it. Yep. You get even money rather than 3 to 5. Now look, if he ends up winning by a length, you'll feel stupid that you didn't bet him to win, but that's why it's called gambling.
Dig Girardi of betonline.ag. Thank you so much for your time today and getting us ready for this big, monumental, and just incredibly weird Kentucky Derby weekend.
You got it. Thanks so much, guys.
Dig Girardi of betonline.ag joining us here on the Blitz. When we come back, we're going to get you ready for your sports weekend and let you know exactly where you can check out those races and everything else that's going on this week. That's coming up next right here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Hey, don't get left out of the conversation.
I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if you did.
Follow us on Facebook at ESPN San Antonio and on Twitter at ESPN_SA.
And of course, on the go at ESPNSA.com.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
This ESPN San Antonio college football update brought to you by Dos Equis, a most interesting beer.
Win on three. 1, 2, 3, win.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. I'm Kyle Yeomans with Friday's Cowboys Report. Thursday afternoon brought some more late camp roster moves that included a shocking release of a newly acquired veteran. We'll tell you who is now hitting the open market right after this.
Whether you're getting ready to purchase a home, setting up a college fund for your kids, or preparing for retirement, you're working hard to live a life you love. And you deserve peace of mind knowing your home, loved ones, and future are protected. At SWBC, we can help you assess your personal situation and create a customized solution to make sure you're prepared for whatever life throws your way. Visit SWBC.com to learn about your mortgage, insurance, and wealth management options today. That's SWBC.com.
Hey, it's Jalen Smith, linebacker for your Dallas Cowboys. Looking for the right energy plan for your home? When you sign up on the Reliant Cowboys plan, you'll score an autographed football. Yeah, a football signed by yours truly. You'll also get an invitation to a Cowboys autograph session. It's a win-win. Go with Reliant and bring the power home. Call 1-866-RELIANT or visit Reliant.com/Cowboys. Reliant, the official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
Restrictions, terms, and conditions apply. PUCT number 10007.
Veteran safety HaHa Clinton Dix was released by the Cowboys Thursday, a couple days ahead of the 53-man roster deadline that's on Saturday, and takes away what was once thought to be a key piece of the secondary. However, Cowboys Vice President Stephen Jones mentioned on 105.3 The Fan that there are options at safety moving forward.
Yes, we're certainly going to look at all avenues as we move forward here, and wouldn't rule anything out. We're just down there working with Will and our pro scouting department, as well as our coaches, and trying to figure out what our next steps might be here.
That's today's Cowboys Report. I'm Kyle Yeomans.
Do you have a retirement plan? No matter your age or how close you are to retirement, you need a plan to make sure you don't run out of money. Hi, Jason Minix here for Pax Financial Group. At Pax Financial Group, they know you want to be financially prepared, and in order to do that, you need trusted guidance. At Pax Financial Group, they have the experience and tools to crunch your retirement numbers and get the answers you need. If you have a plan, let Pax Financial Group double-check all your numbers. 210-881-5700 is the phone number, or PaxFinancialGroup.com. You see, at Pax Financial Group, they believe everybody deserves to be hopeful about their future. They understand why it's important for families to protect their hard-earned money, and a key reason why they are a trusted financial advisor for so many families here for over the past decade. Connect with Pax, 210-881-5700, 881-5700, or PaxFinancialGroup.com. Investment advisory services offered by Pax Financial Group, LLC.
At Mountain Dew, we support the best and baddest disaster relief group in America, Team Rubicon. To show our support of Team Rubicon, Mountain Dew put in $1 million. And now you can help Team Rubicon too. Look for specially marked Team Rubicon bottles of Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew, and Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Enter for a chance to win weekly prizes at MountainDewTR.com and donate to Team Rubicon. You'll earn exclusive rewards when you do. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 and older. Subject to rules at MountainDewTR.com. Ends 10/3/2020.
Now this sounds like a good time. Maybe not to you, but right now some friends are having an absolute ball together. Because they got Taco Bell's Taco and Burrito Cravings Pack with 4 tasty crunchy tacos and 4 indulgent beefy 5-layer burritos. What more could you need? Okay, a little music wouldn't hurt. Get it for the friends that get it. Only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. locations for a limited time, prices may vary and be higher for delivery. Tax extra.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies in our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kielbasa Smoked Meats, slow-crafted in Texas since 1949.
The die-hard batteries you know and trust are now at Advance Auto Parts. That means all the reliability, durability, and power you expect now come with free testing, free installation, and the unrivaled expertise of Advance team members. And you don't even need an appointment. When it's time to hit the road, stop by Advance Auto Parts to start strong with a die-hard battery. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Labor Day savings are now at the Home Depot, and your fall project list is now even more affordable. Use our mobile app to search, shop, and save. Flexible delivery options that bring everything you need right to your door. And if you need tools for a project, but not forever, you can rent them. You won't find a better toolbox anywhere else. Take on fall with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only, while supplies last, valid through September 7th.
Let's get wild.
Welcome back into the Blitz right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I'm James Pledger along with my buddy Jack Thompson from the Saturday Morning Hangover, and we're joined by one of the fantasy gods, Michael Jimenez of the Fantasy Gods right here on ESPN San Antonio. You can catch Sundays from 11 to noon. We're filling in for Jason Mix and Rob Thompson, who both decided they needed a 4-day weekend. I can't blame them.
No.
But
at all.
we are going to let y'all.
Weather outside.
We're going to let y'all know exactly what to do this weekend and where to watch it in our new segment called Twin Peaks Scenic Views. It's where we let you know what's going on this weekend in sports, how you can watch it, and how we will enjoy it out at Twin Peaks. First up, the Kentucky Derby, the 146th running. Coverage starts at 1:30 on NBC.
Hey.
Post time isn't until 6:01 though. So a lot of time to pregame with some mint juleps over there out at Twin Peaks as you get ready for that event. Also on Saturday, we've got a UFC fight night, guys. UFC Fight Night from Las Vegas as Alistair Overeem takes on Augusto Sakai. St. Pro versus Alonzo Meanfield. I'm guessing on that one. Michael Pereira and Zaleem Ivedens. That kicks off at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. But the thing I am most excited about, guys, college football kicks off as we get the Texas State Bobcats, eat 'em up, Cats, as we take on Shane Buechele and the SMU Mustangs. It's not going to be pretty, but I'm going to be watching at 3:30 out at Twin Peaks. Also on Saturday, earlier in that day, 12 o'clock, Marshall and Eastern Michigan kickoff. You got Houston Baptist, who will face the Texas Tech Red Raiders next week in their opener. They're taking on North Texas this week at 6:30 on ESPN3. Arkansas State taking on Memphis at 7 on ESPN, and Stephen F. Austin at UTEP, 8 o'clock on ESPN3. So huge day of college football. And then Monday, we get some Monday night college football, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Navy against BYU. And of course, we've got the NBA playoffs.
Yes, sir.
We've got a game for it. Milwaukee and Miami, 5:30 on TNT. Houston and the Lakers, 8 o'clock on ESPN. Those are both tonight. Plus, tomorrow we got Toronto and Boston, game 4, 5:30. Denver and the Clippers, game 2, 8 o'clock. Those are both on TNT. Guys, what are you most forward to looking to watch? And what will you be enjoying with your scenic views?
Man, that's a tough one. A whole lot
big
of stuff
sports
to watch
weekend,
tomorrow.
baby. I'll go first. What I'm gonna do is I am going to post up at my Twin Peaks over there on Park North, and I'm gonna watch, even though it's gonna be a slaughter, most likely, SMU and Texas State. 3:30. I'm gonna get myself some of those fried mozzarella cubes that they have. They're freaking fantastic, and a chicken fried steak.
Ooh,
very nice.
And
very
chicken
nice.
fried steak.
And hopefully, looks like the Twin Peaks Girl of the Month, Caitlin. I don't know. Maybe she'll serve me. I don't know. Might get lucky. I don't know.
She's from Addison, Texas, so the website says.
Close enough. Close enough.
The closest Twin Peaks to me is the 151 location, and I have quite a controversial pick when it comes to food selection there. Everyone always has chicken fried steak or wings or burgers, but I'm the one who always rolls up and orders the pot roast with mashed potatoes and sauteed greens.
Okay. Love
Everyone
me some
I
mashed
see
potatoes.
you.
Everyone looks at me like, pot roast? Pot roast? And then it comes out.
What is
and they look
this?
at me and
Sunday?
Go,
what is this sorcery?
What is the sorcery? This is amazing. I'm looking forward to the Kentucky Derby. Looking forward to proving Dick Girardi wrong and having Mike Smith and Honor AP win. He laughed at me. He scoffed at me.
He scoffed at you.
Scoffed at your pick.
I heard him on air just go.
That's what I heard.
So
I thought he was talking about Clinton Dix, but he was just laughing at you.
He was just laughing at you.
Yeah, you know
man.
what? I know what I'm talking about when I go horse racing. I'm sorry, okay?
Yeah, it sounded like you did, for sure.
Yeah, and the thing is that bet that he said about 1.5 over, the lengths of 1.5 over for the victor, that's a great bet at even money.
By the way, I'm going to throw one more thing for our sports week that I didn't put on the calendar because it's Friday and we're doing this on Fridays to get ready for the week. Guys, the NFL season kicks off on Thursday. As the Houston Texans take on the Kansas City Chiefs in a divisional round rematch up there at Arrowhead, where they're allowing 22% capacity.
What do you know?
Hey, one last thing to go with my pot roast over at Twin Peaks. Mint juleps are awful. That's the most disgusting drink I've ever had. Try a three-legged monkey over at Twin Peaks.
Okay.
That's
three-legged monkey.
Pineapple juice. It's really good.
Okay, that does sound pretty
You're probably
good.
having a bad mint julep. That's why. A lot of people like to use the syrups. When in actuality, you should be grinding up. Yeah, you should be muddling up your mint leaves with actual sugar. Gives it a better consistency, actually gives the drink a better taste. The syrup just leaves it way too sweet. It's actually way more refreshing when you used real sugar, cube sugar, or cane sugar of some sort along with the mint leaf when you muddle it.
I love drinking with you, Pledge. I feel so sophisticated as I'm getting drunk. You know? I mean, there was that one time you and I played like 6 songs of, I don't know who it was. Who was it that we played in a row? Some female singer. I forgot who it was. It wasn't Pink. Who was it? Anyway,
I did some Rick Astley
over and over again. What's that?
I did some Rick Astley for a little bit.
Yeah. You control. They don't have a jukebox. They have a pledge box because you can dominate that thing. Your songs are on for 2 hours at a time. It's amazing.
I like.
I know that I have to do
it's
it
an
for 2
energy
hours.
thing, man. I like to get it going. Jack, I have a feeling where you're going with your sports watch.
You know me. If there's hoops on, I'm gonna be tuned in. It's just part of my DNA. I have to do it. So you can catch me at Twin Peaks pretty early, probably before the 5:30 tip. You know, get a little pregame going on, a little something in my belly. Probably start with. I like the sampler platter. I'm a big fan of fried pickles. I love fried pickles. Love fried pickles.
Call.
And it comes with those mozzarella sticks you were talking about, and some buffalo chicken wings or strips rather.
Yeah. And you get the fried pickles, so I can't.
Yeah,
dude, that's a heady play
with that one.
That's a heady play, especially if you're just grazing throughout the entire game. That's a heady play, Jack.
Yeah. So that's what I'd probably start with, and then going into the nightcap game. You can tell he
learned it from his dad.
Yeah,
that's a heady move right there. That's a vet move he learned from his dad.
And then going into our nightcap game of Denver,
Tonight?
LA.
Oh, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow. So I'll still be there. After that first game, you can't just clear out.
So you're going Toronto, Boston through the Denver Clips
I'm
game.
Powering through, and for that
it's not
one,
the only thing you're going to
Saturday-
be powering while you're there.
Oh, several tall boy Dos Equis. I'll need them throughout.
Well, good
ritually.
news is I can tell you that they're at least 29 degrees because the temperature will be right there over the bar for you.
And to accompany that beautiful cold Dos Equis, since it's Saturday and we're not doing our show, I'll have the hangover burger.
Nice.
God, you're a veteran.
He is, dude.
That's amazing. Oh, by the way,
that's something you learn.
Do you think this is a game?
That's something you learn from the man who gives you every break. Scenic views.
Hey, Pledge, I just realized it was our renewed Kesha phase that we had last year.
Oh, that's right. We went through Kesha. You're right. All right, so join us out at Twin Peaks this weekend as we are enjoying some of our favorite sports throughout the week. Get you ready for it right here on Twin Peaks Scenic Views every week right here on ESPN San Antonio. When we come back here on the Blitz, the Randy Gregory saga has continued, and it's finally come to its conclusion, guys. We're going to talk about it next right here on the Blitz on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
We see you.
We hear you.
We denounce systemic racism.
We condemn violence, inequity, and injustice.
We pledge to use the power of our platform to spread facts and educate our communities.
We will be the change that we are calling for.
We are united for justice.
It's a Friday heading into a long weekend for Labor Day, and you know you're going to stand over the grill. Jason and Rob here for our friends at Tri-County Meat Market, the best meat market in San Antonio, one of the best in the state of Texas. Locally owned and full service, Tri-County has carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice.
Tri-County has everything you need for your grilling game, from beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, peppers, and even more. I'll tell you what, pro tip, stock up on their Pick 5 for $25.
That's really one of the best deals in San Antonio. And you talk about great deals. Their Labor Day weekend special today through Sunday. Dean and Peeler Texas raised premium Angus beef T-bones for $12.99 a pound. Akaushi boneless ribeyes and Akaushi boneless New York strips at $19.99 a pound. You don't get better meat than that. Again, the Labor Day special today through Sunday.
Say it again with me. Akaushi beef. Tri-County Meat has two great locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heebner. Check them out online, tricountymeat.com.
Cover more ground with the fast, durable Kubota Sidekick, featuring a gas-powered engine that delivers a top speed of 40 miles per hour, best-in-class acceleration and handling with cargo, and the strength to haul what needs hauling. All backed by a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty. Get more done right with the Kubota Sidekick. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Blake Stevens with San Antonio-based GPS of Texas. If you have commercial vehicles on the road, you're a target for personal injury lawyers. I mean, you're wearing a bullseye. Our system can protect you if there is an accident with proof of speed, video monitoring, even proof that your driver wasn't on his phone. Don't get hammered. Have real proof that you weren't at fault by installing our GPS camera tracking system. Call GPS of Texas at 210-587-7634 or gpsoftexas.com.
Cover more ground with the fast, durable Kubota Sidekick, featuring a gas-powered engine that delivers a top speed of 40 miles per hour, best-in-class acceleration and handling with cargo, and the strength to haul what needs hauling. All backed by a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty. Get more done right with the Kubota Sidekick. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Drafting from home this year? Twin Peaks has the perfect package for you. Order a 2020 Twin Peaks draft kit to take to the house party. It's everything your league needs to really score. Featuring draft packs available for takeout or delivery starting at $75. Includes 96 wings for the league, a $50 bonus card for the commissioner, plus a $5 bonus card for every league player, and all the gear to include a draft board and player stickers. For more info, visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/fantasy draft.
Hitting the road this summer? Do what truck drivers do. Bring plenty of 5-Hour Energy. You'll get the alert, energized feeling you need to get where you're going and do everything you want to do when you get there. It's small, light, and portable, like it was made for road trips. Just crack it open, knock it back, and keep both hands on the wheel. Because when it comes to road trips... Are we there yet? Safety comes first. 5-Hour Energy. Energy on the go. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Welcome back into the Blitz right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I am James Pledger. You can follow me on Twitter at I am Pledger. I am joined by my Saturday morning co-host, Jack Thompson. You can follow him on Twitter at Jack_Thompson33, and my man, Michael Jimenez, the Rock the Mic 4 champion. We like to call him the Quattro on The Hangover. He's got a new Twitter handle, seeing as he is a fantasy god. You can catch him Sundays from 11 to noon on the Fantasy God. You can catch him at 210 Fantasy God now on Twitter. Guys, the Randy Gregory saga is finally over. He has been reinstated by the league. Now, he can't practice until October 5th, and he can't report to the Cowboys until Monday, and he can't play until their week 7 game, but it's over. He's been reinstated. He's coming back. What are the realistic expectations for Randy Gregory as we head into this year?
This year, there are no expectations. I mean, what kind of expectations are you going to have? He missed all of training camp. He would have missed a third to, maybe a little bit more than a third of the season. He's going to take someone's spot, off the roster who's been there the entire time. I just think he should sit there and learn and really just kind of prep up for next year because he's behind the 8 ball already.
I think whose spot he took was last year's 5th round pick, defensive end out of Miami, Joe Jackson, who they waved bye-bye today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think that he's really taking anybody valuable's roster spot. Now he might be taking someone of value's snaps. But even then, you're talking about a rotational pass rusher who has first-round talent, top 10 talent, who they drafted in the 2nd round, but just couldn't find his way on the field because of issues with substance abuse. But you're getting a top 10 talent guy, and you're adding him to another top 10 talent guy in Aldon Smith, and a perennial Pro Bowler in Everson Griffin, and a perennial Pro Bowler in DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, that front line is juiced. And if you employ a New York Giants Super Bowl type team mentality to that front line where you're constantly rotating, and you can go with a NASCAR package at time to where maybe you've got 4 pass rushers on the field in pass rush situations late in games or on 3rd and longs and stuff, to where you just unleash everyone all at once. And remember, Aldon Smith, he's a guy who doesn't have to play down on the line. You can play him coming from off the line because he's used to playing stand-up linebacker in a way. So you can have 4 defensive pass rushers down there, a defensive tackle plugging up the middle and Poe, and then bring in Aldon Smith off the edge. I mean, there's a lot of versatility that they can now employ, and he just adds to that as the season goes on and allows these guys to maintain, be even fresher, later in games, and also employ some, at least Mike Nolan, the ability of a strategy to kind of unleash hell in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, for him to miss the first, it's going to be the 6 games. I would really the only thing you can expect out of him is to come in fresh off of all this time off he's had and really just try and make an impact when he can get a chance. Like you said, he's coming into a position group that's already pretty stacked, pretty filled up. So if he wants to come in and make some sort of impact, he's going to have to do it in the small snap count that he's probably going to get. But it does allow us some sort of kind of like a security blanket, getting someone with this type of talent coming way later in the season. He does sort of allow you to think later in down the line. Of course, if there's some sort of injury, you have that as a security blanket as well. So I would say that's about as far as my expectations go for him.
He is Jack Thompson. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, you both have used the word talent. Is he really a top 10 talent? It's been a long time since 2016. He has missed most of the games since 2016. Is he really a top 10 talent anymore?
Yeah, I mean, the talent is always there. The talent hasn't gone anywhere. The talent is consistent. The only thing you worry about is the production. The productions you're worried about the fall off because he hasn't played football in so long. It's the same worry that you have with Aldon Smith right now because he hasn't played football in even longer.
Right.
He hadn't even been in the NFL.
Right. But we're talking about with Randy Gregory missing most of 4 seasons, or 3 of the 4, and the fact that he wasn't in camp this year. What can you really expect from him?
Well, you're going to have a whole month. He's going to have basically his own training camp ramp up from October the 5th until he's actually allowed to play in games. That's going to be part of his training. You can kind of classify that as his own training camp. And then you slowly bring him along throughout the season, maybe put him in certain pass rush situations. And then by the time you hit the postseason, hopefully he's a full go and you've got a full roster of pass rushers that you can just unleash on people if you're Michael Nolan. He is Michael Jimenez. He is Jack Thompson. I am James Pledger. We are filling in for Jason Robb here on the Blitz. When we come back, though, it is time to look at the NBA playoffs as we've got quite a weekend ahead of us. Don't miss a thing. This has been the Blitz right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for my friends over at Alamo Water Softeners, where they offer you high-quality, low-cost, low-maintenance water softeners for your home. And you know in San Antonio, having a water softener is not a luxury item. It is a necessity because we have some of the hardest water in the country. Their number one objective is to deliver remarkable products and services at the lowest prices possible. Remember the Alamo Water Softeners, 274-6122 or alamowatersofteners.com.
Napa know-how.
Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping and over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $35 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
Nobody gives back like Diamonds Direct. That's right, it's back. Our most popular offer, 5 years, 0 interest financing. September is the time to buy at Diamonds Direct. Get the best price, plus spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And every purchase made in September will benefit No Kid Hungry's mission to end childhood hunger right here in our community. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years, and give at Diamonds Direct on approved credit. Visit diamondsdirect.com for details.
Endless loads of laundry? Lowe's has just what you need to bring reliability to your laundry room. A Maytag front-load laundry pair in an exclusive metallic slate finish. It features the most powerful cleaning in the industry, driven by a heavy-duty cycle with extra power button. Shop Labor Day deals on Lowes.com today and get up to 35% off select appliances like this Maytag laundry pair and more. Bring on style this Labor Day with Lowe's. Offer valid through 9/16, U.S. only.
At Mountain Dew, we support the best and baddest disaster relief group in America, Team Rubicon. To show our support of Team Rubicon, Mountain Dew put in $1 million. And now you can help Team Rubicon too. Look for specially marked Team Rubicon bottles of Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew, and Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Enter for a chance to win weekly prizes at MountainDewTR.com and donate to Team Rubicon. You'll earn exclusive rewards when you do. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 and older. Subject to rules at MountainDewTR.com. Ends 10/3/2020.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Hey, this is Michael, the Playmaker Irv, 1250 ESPN San Antonio.
And 94.5 FM, where the pros play. KCDC San Antonio. Jason Minutes, Rob Thompson, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I am not Rob Thompson. I am James Pledger. I'm joined by my Saturday morning hangover friend, Jack Thompson, and a fantasy god, and Michael Jimenez. We are filling in for Jason and Rob today on the Blitz. As we get you ready for this Labor Day weekend, I also want to remind you that Poocha Mania 2020 is coming, and this time, like everything else in the world, it's virtual. Joining ESPN San Antonio as Alamo Water Softeners presents Poocha Mania, a live social stream event benefiting the San Antonio Humane Society, Saturday, September the 26th, and it starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. You can go to ESPNSA.com, the YouTube or Facebook channels, and check it out. Enter your dog in the costume and crazy tricks contest. Check out the Take Me Home pet adoption, dogs making a difference in the community, and so much more. Alamo Water Softeners Poocha Mania 2020, a live social stream event, is Saturday, September the 26th, and it's brought to you by the San Antonio Express News, Jeff's Backyard, and VCA Animal Hospitals. Guys, the NBA playoffs are in full swing, and man, last night I thought we were going to have a great series, and it looks like the Clippers have found their stride. Kawhi Leonard looked unstoppable. Montrezl Harrell, the newly minted sixth man of the year. I mean, they just looked like they were coming at them wave after wave after wave, and Denver was either tired and gassed from their 7-game series or is about to get run out of the building.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head there. That series coming into it, I thought had the potential to maybe go the distance, 6 or 7 games. The Nuggets had been playing on fire, led by Jamal Murray, who's scored probably the most points in an opening round series and all time. I mean, they were playing.
It's either him or Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, they were playing out of their minds. So just off the top of your head, you would think, wow, they're going to carry this over against the Clippers, and we've got a great series on our hands. But the Clippers really showed the difference between a championship caliber team and a team that might be on the verge of that, because they executed their dominance on both sides of the ball, however they wanted to, in the pick and roll, or if it was isolation with Kawhi. They couldn't stop them.
It was like the Clippers had wave after wave of players coming in that were just killing it yesterday. And there's 2 things that disappointed me about it yesterday. One was I still have heartburn when I watch Kawhi Leonard play because I'm a Spurs fan, and that still stings a little bit. But the part of the game that made me want to throw my remote at the TV was when one of the announcers said, and look at Marcus Morris. what a great trade they did earlier this year for him. And I was like, oh my God, please
it's the double burn.
Double burn. No, this series is over. If Kawhi is going to be all over Murray and they only have Jokic out there to be the only offensive weapon that they have out there, this series will be over rather quickly.
Taking a look at the other series, the Rockets are coming off a big 7-game series against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and there's a possibility that they could look as equally drained as Denver did after their 7-round series as they get ready to take on the other team that looks like they're starting to get their footing in the Los Angeles Lakers. Is there a way for Houston to basically use what they do best to disrupt what the Lakers do best, which is be big?
Right. Well, they just got to come out of the gym. I mean, that's what they're going to have to hope for. Just Harden, Westbrook, run. And here's the thing. I mean, Harden and Westbrook, not only, they may be small, but they can still contribute on the rebounding side of the court. So if they run them out of the court, yeah, I can see the Rockets picking up 2 games, maybe even 3. I'd be surprised if they won the series, but it's going to be a close series either way.
Did what Harden do in Game 7 change your mind on the narrative of him?
No.
No, it just showed me that if he wanted to, he could play way. I mean, not that he's a bad defender, but he has that narrative about him. But it shows that if he puts forth the effort, then he could be better than what he is right now.
Well, here's the thing. Harden can play defense, but where do you want him exuding his energy? Because if he tries to play like
both.
that, sure, but not everyone can do both. I mean, that's what makes Kawhi. LeBron doesn't play great defense all the time. He plays great defense in crunch time. I mean, it's selective defense. He takes nights off during the regular season as well because he's trying to preserve his body because he's getting older and he can't lock down night in and night out anymore. So he has to pick his spots.
LeBron has the luxury of doing that because he has other offensive weapons. The Rockets not necessarily have that. Harden is their offense.
Exactly, which is why, where do you want him exuding his energy? On offense or on defense? I'd rather him exude it on offense, but the problem is when he's having a series like this and he's struggling offensively the way he was in that Game 7, he's still found a way to make a difference in the game. And that's what great players do. Great players, it may not, like your A game's not doing it, but you got to find a way to make an impact. And he did. And he made an impact at the most crucial moment. It's like Manu Ginobili late in his career. His offense wasn't great night in and night out. As a matter of fact, there were times where it was God right awful. But he found a way to block James Harden in a crucial situation with a game on the line as he was trying to get off a shot. So I only say that because the narrative is he doesn't play defense at all. And that's not true because he does. He's actually, if you look at the advanced metrics, he's one of the better defenders in the league.
It doesn't change the narrative at all.
Just when he decides.
I was watching this game looking at it, and there was 2 perennial losers there. It was James Harden and Chris Paul. One of them had to win, okay? So because if both of them could lose at the same time, they would have found a way. But mathematically, someone had to win. So it doesn't change the narrative at all. Harden has a history of getting to the second round and then checking out somewhere midway through the series. If he continues to do that, the narrative will never change. But, it doesn't for me. Harden needs to go further. He needs to do more in order for that narrative to go away.
I get it, but he's also a victim of circumstance in a way. The same way that any quarterback in the AFC was a victim of circumstance when Tom Brady was there. There's a roadblock in your way named Tom Brady. There's been a roadblock in James Harden's way called the Golden State Warriors. And it's a team that a lot of teams can't get past, not just James Harden. And that's been the team that's normally eliminated James Harden in the playoffs. And it's tough to give him a narrative when you're playing what is considered one of the greatest dynasties since maybe the Spurs, or not even the Spurs, because the Spurs dynasty was just long and there was never back-to-back, but one of the greatest little dynasties of back-to-back-to-back consecutive years of dominance since maybe the Lakers.
Here's the thing. Victim of circumstance, but the fact of the matter is that he's often a victim of himself and the effort that he puts out there. He's obviously one of the best players in the game. But when I see him out there, one of the things that he does that he's doing in the bubble that's not getting called so much this postseason is he flares his arm out. He does a lot of flops and things like that, and the refs aren't calling it this time, and because there's no crowd. So one of the weapons that he has there, which is consistently getting to the free throw line, isn't as great as it is when it's outside of the bubble.
I think the key to this series isn't going to fall on James Harden. It's going to fall more on the role players for the Rockets. Like, how is Eric Gordon going to step up to the plate? Because it's James Harden. He's going to do well in some facet of the game. He's too good not to. And then you've got Russell Westbrook, who's an energizer buddy. He's going to attempt to affect the game in any way possible he can, whether that's rebounding, assists, attacking the basket, just putting pressure on the opposing team. But where does Eric Gordon fall in this place? Can he hit the outside threes that he's been struggling with throughout this series? Mm-hmm. He's also going to have a lesser defender on him in this series because the two guard defenders for the Lakers, they only have two elite defenders, and Danny Green isn't even that elite anymore. So it's really just KCP. So KCP is going to have to take turns on Harden or Russell Westbrook, who's ever hot. So that leaves Eric Gordon with a potential not a very good defender on him. So he's got to step up to the plate and especially hit those threes that he's known for hitting.
What about Robert Covington? Because he's going to be at times the tallest player on the court. So you're likely going to see him, whether it's via switch or just straight up, on Anthony Davis, trying to keep him. It's either going to be PJ Tucker or Robert Covington that's tasked with that. So you're going to have Anthony Davis likely having a huge series.
Yep.
But on top of that, Covington being not just a defender, but he's a 3-and-D guy. His three ball is also going to be very important to
definitely
the ability for the Rockets to stay in the series.
The key for the Rockets is what you got to pick your poison. Do you want AD to go off and you just kind of try and swarm and cover everything else? Truthfully, I would throw Cov on LeBron. I think that's a better matchup for him for sure. And I think that you can potentially beat the Lakers with AD going off and kind of minimalizing what LeBron does. Yeah, what he does with the ball rather than vice versa and letting LeBron control the pace and the game and sort of Anthony Davis taking the back seat. I think you would want to try and force Anthony Davis into the front and sort of neutralize LeBron as much as you can with Jeff Green and Covington.
Currently, we've got the Milwaukee Bucks with a 37-34 lead over the Miami Heat, as Miami has just given Milwaukee fits so far in this series, and what potentially adverse effect that could have on the Bucks moving forward.
I mean, you got it. No, you got it, Mike. You got it.
Oh, I mean, it's got to be disheartening for Giannis and to go this far, be on track for a 70-win season, just be on fire up until mid-March when the season was postponed. It's got to be disheartening for him. And this is the time where he has to take a look around and just weigh his options. All the greats have been doing that. LeBron did it. I mean, Tim Duncan did it back when he looked at Orlando back in 2003. So this is his time. He needs to either say, I'm committed to Milwaukee or just move on. But it's hard for him to commit to Milwaukee just simply because they have no cap space. They have absolutely no cap space. So this is the best that they're going to be. And if he's good with that, well then, roll the ball out and see what you can do. But if he's frustrated with that and he knows that other teams are getting better, I would not fault him for leaving. And he fulfilled his contract.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't fault him for leaving. I mean, this will be the second MVP that he's brought to that team that he should get in the next coming weeks. But while the Bucks are definitely struggling and did look to do better coming into the playoffs, and definitely before I joined the hangover, the Heat were my team to come out of the East. The way that team is built for the playoffs. They've got Jimmy Butler, proven winner, proven he'll do anything to win. Defensively, offensively, he'll hit shots, he'll guard the best player, he'll do what he has to do. They've got great guard play and Goran Dragic, who no one is talking about. He's averaged 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists through the bubble. That's crazy numbers for a guy that no one's talking about.
And then great young talent.
Yeah, great shooters with Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. You can't give those guys an inch. They've got another lockdown defender in Jay Crowder, a good defender in Iguodala, who's getting old. And then they've got Bam Adebayo, who easily could have been the most improved player.
It's a guy that can guard 4 positions on the floor, too.
Yeah, they can roll out 3 lockdown defenders that can all shoot the ball, too. It's just a team that's built for a deep run. They're just rugged, gritty, and it's just a tough out for anyone.
And probably the most underrated head coach in the NBA in Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah, everyone thinks that he was just riding LeBron's coattails, but he's definitely a good coach.
Well, everybody thought he was a placeholder until Riley decided he was going to take over the team. If you remember, when he was initially hired to take over for LeBron and Dwayne Wade and that crew. But Spoelstra proved that like his hiring by Pat Riley was legit, and that he is one of the coaches in this league that needs to be talked about when you talk about some of the greater head coaches, whether it's Popovich or Nick Nurse or Brad Stevens. Like these are
right
the
up
guys.
there with Steve Kerr. Like he's there. He's right there.
Well, beyond that, beyond the X's and O's, he manages egos very, very, very well. He is a top 5 coach, no doubt about it. I absolutely love Miami. They're that sleeper team. You know, Jackie mentioned that you loved them early on. I love them too. I wouldn't say that they were my pick to come out of the East, but they're the most fun to watch. And it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. They're going to get you somehow. And it's just, can you overcome that?
He is Michael Jimenez. He is Jack Thompson. I am James Pledger. We are filling in for Rob and Jason today here on the Blitz. When we come back, guys, the NFL, there's a lot of things in Dallas to be excited about, and there's a lot of things to scratch your head about. We'll figure out which is which as we come back here on the Blitz. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Don't set your fantasy lineups without consulting the Fantasy Guys. Brandon Medina and Michael Jimenez help get your fantasy football lineup set. The Fantasy Guys, every Sunday morning from 11 to noon on 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
At Dos Equis, we realize you've missed celebrating quite a few holidays this year. That's why we're proposing a makeup holiday. St. Patrick de Mayo of Independence Day. Sounds very festive. Dos Equis, a most interesting beer. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. Copyright 2020.
Nobody beats the low prices at Mother's Window Tint, your car, stereo, and auto security headquarters. Nobody beats our prices on high-quality performance window tint and expert installation. It's essential to protect yourself and your family from the sun's hot rays and car thieves. Save $100 off regular winter prices when you purchase the Mother's Window Tint and Alarm package. This is a deal. Save $100 off our regular winter prices now at the start of summer. Limited to stock on hand. For 36 years, Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm special. Want to make your car go thump, 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 mother thump. Premium car stereos on sale. Sony, Kicker, JVC, JBL, Diamond, Kenwood, Memphis Audio, all on sale. GPS, remote start systems, all on sale. Save $100 on the Mother's Window Tint and Alarm special. Nobody beats the low prices at Mother's Window Tint, your car, stereo, and auto security headquarters. Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm special. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
At Diamonds Direct right now, there's nothing standing in your way of owning that magnificent piece of jewelry. Nothing. No down payment and no finance charges for 5 whole years. People People are driving for hours to do this. On any purchase, just take that amazing Diamonds Direct price, divide by 60, and that's your payment. It's a smart way to buy. Keep your money in your pocket and still get that amazing ring or band or bracelet, even that bigger diamond. 5 years, 0 interest on any purchase on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
As a minimalist, paying less for insurance is more.
Nice place. Is your house a bubble?
It's a dome. I find corners unnecessary.
At Liberty Mutual, that's how we feel about overpaying for insurance.
But I do miss having shelves.
What would you put on them?
Nothing, obviously.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, actor, cancer survivor, and father of 4. As a dad, there's nothing I wouldn't do to protect my kids from cancer. The human papillomavirus, or HPV, can cause 6 types of cancer. But the HPV vaccine can stop cancer before it starts. Girls and boys should get the vaccine at 11 or 12, and there's a catch-up option for teens and young adults. Ask your child's doctor about the HPV vaccine today.
Welcome back into the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I am James Pledger. He is Jack Thompson. He is one of the fantasy gods, Michael Jimenez. We are filling in for Jason and Rob today here on the Blitz on this Labor Day weekend getaway Friday. As I want to remind you real quick that ESPN San Antonio is your home for Texas Rangers baseball. Of course, Texas Rangers baseball is brought to you on ESPN San Antonio by GPS of Texas. Texas opens up a 4-game series with the Seattle Mariners starting tonight. First pitch is set for 8:10, and it all starts with the pregame at 7:30. Texas Rangers baseball on ESPN San Antonio brought to you by GPS of Texas, online at gpsoftx.com. Guys, the Dallas Cowboys, there's the opportunity with the cutdowns and the roster moves for them to be able to kind of reshape what everybody feels may be the biggest weakness on this roster, especially with what they did in order to, strengthen that front seven even more, getting Randy Gregory back here late season. So you look at it, they brought in Brandon Carr for a visit today. There's talk of Earl Thomas. The Raiders just released a former McCarthy first-round pick from 2015 and Demarius Randall, who could play on the back end. You're looking at a safety core that has Xavier Woods, but next to that, you're talking about Darian Thompson or who else? And Chidobe Awuzie, he's a little nicked up, as has been Jordan Lewis. So you're dealing with rookie second-rounder Trayvon Diggs so far in the secondary, and the possibility of starting an Anthony Brown on the outside. I mean, they're thin in the secondary, and the 53 cutdown gives them the opportunity to possibly kind of reshape that back end here as we get ready for the start of the regular season.
Yeah, you look at the roster and it's super obvious that that's the weakest position point for the Cowboys, the back end of the defense. I mean, if we could sign Earl Thomas, I know there's been talk of that for seasons to come.
Oh, seasons on seasons and seasons.
Yeah, it would be fantastic. It's Earl Thomas. He's not the all-pro that he once was, but even 75% of Earl Thomas is better than 75% of the league. So
he's an upgrade. Period.
Yes, an absolute upgrade. An absolute upgrade. So that would be, if the price point is right for him, that it doesn't make sense that we wouldn't grab him, because he's shown interest in being a Cowboy, which I think is big on top of itself. He's a former All-Pro, obvious upgrade. And if the money works, I just don't see why it hasn't happened yet.
Well, here's the thing. There's a reason that he's on his third team in 3 years. And so you have to look at it from that end. And the fact that, maybe Mike McCarthy doesn't want to bring in a malcontent to his locker room. Maybe he'd be more content bringing in a Demarius Randall who was just let go over in Oakland. Or maybe there's another guy we're not even looking at who could be released very soon in this 53 cut down, because there's always a guy or two or three on every roster that's a surprise cut. Like you see him hit the market and you're like, wow, how did that happen? And then teams have to figure out how to make him fit after their final 53 and where they're going to make a spot for him. But there's an opportunity for the Cowboys to add to what is considered the weakness on this team. And whether it be corner, whether it be safety, just bring someone in and give veteran presence and bodies and just veteran guys that know how to be a pro.
Absolutely.
If he's in fact a malcontent, the fact of the matter is the Cowboys already have some veteran leadership on the defensive side of the ball right now. So I would be more susceptible to all this, or not susceptible to this, if
more amenable.
I'd be okay with it, because I mean they have the lead, and they have a lot of different players out there who are going to be able to kind of check him a little bit. Okay, other teams, other young teams, would not be able to do that. So it's okay to make that, because the upside is so great. As Jack said, this is their glaring weakness. This is the spot that they need to fill, and you'd be surprised how often bad reputations go away when winning happens. So
instantly,
if the Cowboys are winning, he has no reason to be upset.
Well, there's another big name sitting out there, not just Earl Thomas, that is also garnering some interest from a team that seems like it's pretty deep at that position, as Jadeveon Clowney feels like his time to be a Saint might be close at hand. And you look at a team that already has Marcus Davenport, Sheldon Rankins, Jordan Cameron, Malcolm Brown on that defensive line. You added Jadeveon Clowney to it, and you talk about a Cowboys defensive line that has waves upon waves of talent that they can send on you. That could be a piece, especially when you're dealing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now within that division, and trying to, the best way to get to Tom Brady and to disrupt them is to drop into coverage and get after them with your front four. That gives them quite the front four if they're able to pull out that signing. As quote unquote Ian Rappaport said, they're on an all-out blitz to sign.
Yeah, don't tease me, man. Don't tease me. I'm a big Saints fan, and if I was to see out there, see Cam Jordan and Clowney and Marcus Davenport. Speaking of Davenport, this could be something unfortunate that might take a few snaps from him. Davenport, obviously a UTSA grad, first-round draft pick of the Saints. The Saints traded multiple first-round draft picks to get him. So that's kind of a weird situation that you'd have there. But the fact of the matter is, you have those four guys back there rushing. If Davenport is your fourth best rusher, you are in a really good position, because that guy is a beast.
And I think underrated is Sheldon Rankins, because from the interior, he is a monster at applying pressure. The kid out of Louisville who has struggled with injuries that have really cut short a couple of very promising seasons. So if he's healthy and you add him into the fold, because what do we always say? What's the one place a quarterback hates pressure? Right in his face.
Up the middle.
And guess what? Sheldon Rankins can definitely apply that.
And the Saints are known for their offensive play. And it'd be so weird for the season where their defense is arguably better than their offense.
He is Michael Jimenez. He is a fantasy god. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk some fantasy coming up next here on the Blitz as we get you ready, because I know a lot of people. I've had 2 drafts this week. I've got one more this weekend. I mean, it's draft season, baby. Season.
It's a SZN for all of y'all.
It's draft season as we look to the fantasy, and everybody knows who the greats are. Everybody's going to want to draft Christian McCaffrey or Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce
or Ezekiel Elliott.
Let's look at some guys a little further down. We're going to get you ready for your draft by talking about the guys later in the draft that could really steal your draft. And your fantasy season make you a champion. We'll talk about it with one of the gods coming up next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
We're your home for the Texas Rangers in San Antonio.
This is Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers.
This is Elvis Andrews of the Texas Rangers.
Brought to you by GPS of Texas.
Your home for the Texas Rangers, 1250 ESPN San Antonio.
And 94.5 FM.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Distracted driving doesn't give second chances. To see her first steps, see him scoring the winning touchdown, marrying the one you love, or celebrating 25 years of joy.
I'm Thomas J. Henry. Today, distracted driving is the #1 cause of catastrophic auto collisions and the end of life's dreams. It's best to put the phone down until you arrive or pull off the road safely.
San Antonio, Texas.
Order a 2020 Twin Peaks Draft Kit to take to the house party. It's everything your league needs to really score. Twin Peaks Draft Packs are available for takeout or delivery starting at $75. For more info, visit twinpeaksrestaurant.com/fantasydraft.
Your dishes come out of the dishwasher with spots all over them. That is the rock in your water sticking to the dishes. Not something you want to eat or drink, is it? Call 210-274-6122. That is Alamo Water Softeners, a great locally owned, family-run business. The Townsends are from here. They started the company here, and they've been changing the San Antonio water treatment industry one happy customer at a time. Remember the Alamo Water Softeners, 210-274-6122 or alamowatersofteners.com.
Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea knows some days can get a little twisted. How twisted?
Please tell him thank you, but I do not want to wrestle his bear.
That twisted.
Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted!
Please drink responsibly.
This is your cousin.
From Boston. Shirts versus skins. I call skins.
He loves football.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi Blitz.
And Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
With smooth, like me at QB.
Sam Adams, the fall beer of your cousin. From Boston. The Boston Beer Company. Boston, Mass. Drink responsibly.
Always get your go-to with the new $10 Tastemaker from Pizza Hut. A large pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10. Choose contactless delivery or curbside pickup at pizzahut.com. Price higher in some locations. Limited time offer. Availability of contactless curbside and delivery areas. Charges and minimums vary. Delivery charge not tip.
It's about what's right, and it's about time. We're YWCA. Join the movement for change at ywca.org/untiljustice-just-is.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Smoothbrook, Illinois.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
There's no better feeling than grilling out, and there's no better place than Ace to get the best grill for you and your family. We have the hottest grills from top brands like Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Weber. And since our stores are locally owned and we're committed to helping our neighbors, we'll also assemble and deliver your grill for free. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know their grills. Offer valid for Ace Rewards members through September 7th on grills and accessories $3.99 and up. See participating stores for scheduling or exclusion.
Brandon Medina and Michael Jimenez are the Fantasy Gods.
That is right. You can catch them on Sundays, 11 to noon, as they get you ready for your fantasy football lineup. As we have one of the fantasy gods, Michael Jimenez, joining us here on the Blitz today. Guys, we're going to talk fantasy sleepers and breakouts because everybody can pick the Christian McCaffrey. Everybody can pick the Saquon Barkley. Everybody can pick the Travis Kelce, the Tyreek Hill. Those guys are easy. I want to get into the weeds. I want to help people win by knowing what to do in the 5th round, the 9th round, the 12th round. I want to dig deep. And I'll also impart some at least some of my wisdom, which helps me win multiple championships most years.
Yeah. Both Hugh and Minix have given me so much grief about being called a fantasy god, and I am out to prove it this year.
Guys, I'm gonna let you know on a little James Pledger secret. Draft your team, then save the defenses and the kickers for your final picks. Like, there's no need to go out and reach. There's no kicker that you're gonna take in the 8th round that's gonna be that big of a difference or a gap between him and Sly. Like, there's not a kicker that's going to make that big. Justin Tucker's not going to make that big a difference. I promise you. Now, there's a defense. Maybe there's a defense where the special team is elite. The defense is elite and it can distinguish itself, which could at least you could warrant picking it 2 or 3 picks before your last overall pick. But for the most part, save those guys to the end. Get your guys on your roster that are going to contribute week in and week out in a way that's going to win you a season. Because let's face it, going into the season, for the most part, you didn't know the Patriots were going to be a lockdown defense last year going into last season. Like, you have to just kind of wait and see those things out. You can project and you can guess, but for the most part, turnovers are such a fickle stat. A team that has a lot of turnovers one year doesn't the following season. So those are things I feel that can wait till later in drafts, right? Right?
Now, some pearls of wisdom from me, and I agree with everything you just said there, but some wisdom from me is know how your league is scored.
True.
Is it a standard league? Is it a PPR league? And if it is a PPR league, is it a half-point league, a full point? Because that changes everything.
Is it a big play bonus league?
Exactly. Yes. Are you going to get something for a 40-yard touchdown or something like that?
If that's the case, Saquon's going a lot higher than it changes. Yeah. It changes the Zeke and Saquon debate if you're talking about plus 40-yard bonuses.
Well, look at Austin Eckler. Okay, in a standard league, Austin Eckler is maybe the 10th or 12th player coming off the board. Mm-hmm. In a full-point PPR league, 4, 5, and people give me grief about that, but I honestly believe that. He has 90 receptions as a running back. There's no Melvin Gordon back there this year. He's going to get most of the carries, and oh my God, I've been seeing photos of him. He is built like a truck this year, where he wasn't last year. I'm a big fan of Austin Eckler.
So we'll start off with the breakout players. The breakout players, right. and I see it all the time. Breakout player, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's not a breakout player. He broke out last year when he threw for 4,000 yards and damn near ran for 1,000. Right. Like,
well,
I'm looking for a guy that had a decent season that you're looking to take that step this season.
Okay. I'm going to give you a handful of names, okay?
Okay.
If you were listening to the Fantasy Gods last week before your draft,
which you should have been,
we were talking up Antonio Gibson for the Redskins.
Nice.
And if you had a draft last week, you were getting him in the last round, whereas this week, he might be.
He's going to be one of those earlier picks. Yeah.
Right. I'm a big fan of Devin Singletary from the Buffalo Bills. Right now, a lot of people have him as the 16th to 18th running back. I think he has the potential of being an 8 to 12. When it comes to receivers, I love a lot of the young receivers, but I'm looking at Tyler Boyd. He took a leap last year. I think he can take an even bigger leap this year. Alan Lazard for the Green Bay Packers as well. He is playing. He's a number 2 receiver. Aaron Rodgers still slings it. I think he'd be fantastic. And I'll give you 2 other names real fast. Noah Fant as a tight end for the Denver Broncos, and Chris Herndon from the Jets, who had a really good year 2 years ago. Last year had some off-field issues, also had an injury last year. And can I give you 2 more names?
No.
2 more names. They're not new.
Not at all.
One
They're
more.
not new, but I got him in the 15th round last week in one of my drafts. 15th round. Ben Roethlisberger was sitting there.
Yeah.
Mr. 5,200 yards 2 years ago, Ben Roethlisberger was back there. People were sleeping on James Conner and Juju Smith-Schuster.
In both of my leagues, I want to say it was past the 12th round. I landed Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of the class of 2005 or 2006. That's why I'm also looking at Jameis Winston. He was the number 3 point getter for quarterbacks last year, and he's riding the pine for the Saints just in case Drew Brees gets hurt. So if you're getting Brees, you better get Jameis behind him.
Now, a couple of breakouts that I have that I've kind of circled this year. Let me know what you think of them in terms of the possibility. I really like me some Daniel Jones. I think he's going to have a huge year. I think you're talking about possibly 4,000 yards, 25 plus touchdowns for Daniel Jones this year.
What he did last year. He only played 12 and a half games last year. So, he had 3,000 yards. You build that out to 16 games. You have a 4,000 yard quarterback. And he gets some yards with his leg. He's going to be a top 12 quarterback.
Also, looking at guys that I think could break out, tight end Jonnu Smith. He sort of started to come on late last season. Delaney Walker was always blocking the way, but Delaney Walker's now gone. He is out in Tennessee. Jonnu Smith is going to eat up the bulk of those targets now that don't go to A.J. Brown.
That's very true. And the thing is that you can wait literally to the last 2 rounds.
Exactly.
To track him down. Jack, who are you looking at these days?
A couple of sleepers or kind of breakout guys I like this year. Receiver-wise, I like Christian Kirk for the Cardinals.
Team of the SMH, baby.
The name that I had it on my list right here. You
Look, I got a list too.
But yeah, last year he was thrust into that number 1 position, and even with a bad ankle, he still had some really quality games. So I think this year with D-Hop in there taking most of the coverage, he should be he could definitely have a breakout season. And then second, kind of a receiver that people know about but has never really had the years that they maybe thought is Robbie Anderson. He's got a new change of scenery down in Carolina, new quarterback with Teddy Bridgewater that he's formed some good rapport with early in the camp. They've got DJ Moore, who's obviously their number 1 receiver, really good guy. Christian McCaffrey, of course, great player who's going to get a lot of Curtis Samuel, good guy, but don't sleep on Robbie Anderson. He's a very good receiver, got great breakout speed, great separation speed. So I think once they kind of get everything going in Carolina, Robbie Anderson could be a good piece for them.
Since you're in Carolina, talking about the weapons there and Teddy Bridgewater being the quarterback, not known as like a chunk it deep kind of guy, what do you think of the potential of an Ian Thomas over there who no longer has a Greg Olsen and is going to be getting the lion's share of the tight end reps?
I have some issues with Carolina in general, okay, because this is an awkward year where there's no preseason games. It was kind of a condensed camp. You have a brand new coach, a brand new offensive coordinator, new quarterback. The only really mainstay that you have is the running back and some of the receivers. Yeah, McCaffrey.
The MVP.
So
Best offensive player.
For Carolina guys to get going. And I know McCaffrey is the fantasy god of football. But the fact of the matter is that do I think he's going to get 2,500 yards like he did last year? No. He's going to get 1,900, still going to be one of the best backs, but I don't think he's going to do nearly what he did last year.
What about David Johnson down in Houston? What do you for? Because everybody's talking about can he get right? Can he get right?
We had this conversation off air. I don't like either of the Johnsons. I really don't. Just from a fantasy perspective. I mean, the Texans are my second favorite team, but just from a fantasy perspective, I'm not a big fan of most of the players from Houston.
What do you think about as it pertains to average draft position, the value on a Will Fuller?
I like Will Fuller. I really do. And whenever you talk about receivers, he's probably the 20th, 25th off the board.
Yep.
I wouldn't want him as my number 1 receiver, but I would gladly take him as my 2 or 3 receiver.
And here's the thing. If you get him at a 2 or 3, which is where you're drafting him down there around
or 9.
8, 9, 7 in that area.
Yeah.
When you're getting him as a number 2 at that value, his main thing has always been health. Well, if he manages to stay healthy and you pick him there, that's a dude that can produce at not just a number 1 receiver rate, but we're talking about historic numbers, because when healthy, you see him put up these 212-yard, 3-touchdown games because he does have that rapport with Deshaun Watson. And it's not about coverage being drawn away by by DeAndre Hopkins for Will Fuller. Will Fuller's always dictated the coverage, which is why when he gets hurt, DeAndre Hopkins struggles.
But who's the number 1 receiver out there? Is it Will Fuller or is it Brandon Cooks?
It's Will Fuller.
Who's going to be okay? If it's Will Fuller, then he's going to be seeing coverage that he hasn't seen before, because they're going to be.
He's been seeing that coverage. The coverage has always been dictated by Fuller, which is why DeAndre Hopkins thrives when Fuller's healthy.
Well, because he opens it up. I mean,
he's never had the number 1 cornerback on him, though.
Yeah.
You put Stephon Gilmore or some Darius Slay or some of those lockdown corners, it might be kind of tough for him.
Sure, but there's one thing that Will Fuller possesses, and it's his ability to get off the line. He can beat man coverage, and the thing is, if you try and come up and press him and he beats you, you're dead. Because he has something that you just can't teach, and that is speed to burn.
Yeah, his straight line speed is crazy.
When it comes to receivers, you're looking at level or round 7 through 10. Do you want to have like a known commodity, or do you want to roll the dice on a rookie? I typically don't, but my God, this year
there's a couple
class from receivers, from Jerry Jeudy to CeeDee Lamb to Justin Jefferson to even Brandon Ayuk out with the Niners.
Well, isn't he the only wide receiver that's technically healthy in San Francisco right now?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a player, Brandon Ayuk. It's spelled AIYUK. Okay. It's one of those things where that's where the fantasy season is won. It's when you get these pieces that overplay the position they were drafted and can serve as trade chips down for the later on in the season.
So let's say rounds 12 on. There's a rookie receiver that you're looking at. Who's the guy?
I've got 2.
I've got a couple too. But who are the guys that you've circled as, not Jeudy, not CeeDee Lamb, because everybody's taking those guys from about 10 to 12. I'm talking about a little bit deeper, like off the grid.
As of right now, go ahead, Jack.
Okay, well, my sort of
we
off
agree
the grid
on
guys. Yeah, I'll let you take the one we agree on. I've got 2 others that I'll go into. One that probably no one knows about is down in Jacksonville, and his name is Laviska Shenault. The dude is an absolute monster when he has the ball. He runs like a madman. He's got speed that you could put in the backfield, and he runs like a running back when he has the ball. And he's going to be in an offense that's going to be down every game. They're going to be throwing the ball like crazy, and their best guys are going to be covered because, he's a rookie. You're going to cover D.D. Westbrook and the other DJ or Chark. You're going to cover those guys. So you look at a rookie with crazy speed and ability, and Laviska, he could have a good one.
Talking about a rookie with speed and ability, guy out of Notre Dame, taken by the Pittsburgh Steelers, has been impressing all throughout camp. Chase Claypool. He's got 4.4 speed, plus he's built like a tight end. He's 6'4". He's about 230. Like, that's a dude that has already started to impress down there. And you talk about a guy, Juju Smith-Schuster, a guy who can have a rebound year, actually having a quarterback to throw to him finally, and then having a guy on the other side now with a rookie in Claypool and nobody really blocking his path to getting snaps.
Yeah, he's better than Deontay.
Look up A.J. Dillon also as a running back for Green Bay. He's somebody who might be taking and if there are injuries in front of him, could be a top 15 back.
He is Michael Jimenez. He is one of the fantasy gods. You can catch him on the fantasy gods Sundays, 11 to noon. You can catch him on Twitter at 210 Fantasy God. He is Jack Thompson. I'm James Pledger. We're in for Jason and Rob. We'll be right back to put a bow on the show here on the Blitz. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
The first thing on our bucket list? Fill the bucket with ice-cold beer.
Woohoo!
San Antonio's sports leader. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies and our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kielbasa Smoked Meats, slow-crafted in Texas since 1949.
Everyone loves Rico's nachos, but not everyone enjoys them in exactly the same way. If you're a natural-born risk taker, you're a nacho high roller. Go all in and win big with Rico's nachos. Rico's products are available at H-E-B, Walmart, and other grocery and club stores. Rico's, how to nacho.
Right now, your house is the schoolhouse. Your internet and home security play a very important part of your kids' education, and BSG can help you out.
My name is Hannah, and I'm a mother of 4. As we prepared to homeschool our kids, we had to make some big decisions and make sure we had the right technology in our home. We needed an internet signal that wouldn't fail, and we wanted our home to be safe and secure. The best decision we made was calling BSG.
With BSG, they know home technology, Wi-Fi, TVs, home security. It's all important and all needs to work together. BSG will evaluate your home, understand exactly what you need, and install the best technology solutions at affordable prices.
Now, our 4 kids' school computers and all of our family TVs are hardwired, so we don't have to worry about poor connections and interruptions. Our internet is extremely fast, and we feel safe with our BSG security system.
Call BSG today, 210-877-1222, bsgtexas.com.
Nobody beats the low prices at Mother's Window Tint, your car, stereo, and auto security headquarters. Nobody beats our prices on high-quality performance window tint and expert installation. It's essential to protect yourself and your family from the sun's hot rays and car thieves. Save $100 off regular winter prices when you purchase the Mother's Window Tint and Alarm package. This is a deal. Save $100 off our regular winter prices now at the start of summer. Limited to stock on hand. For 36 years, Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special. Want to make your car go thump, 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 mother thump? Premium car stereos on sale. Sony, Kicker, JVC, JBL, Diamond, Kenwood, Memphis Audio, all on sale. GPS, remote start systems, all on sale. Save $100 on the Mother's Window Tint and Alarm Special. Nobody beats the low prices at Mother's Window Tint, your car, stereo, and auto security headquarters. Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Vamonos out of there, because guess what? It is the freaking weekend. A Labor Day weekend at that. James Pledger, Jack Thompson, Michael Jimenez. We are in for Jason and Rob today on the Blitz. Glad to take you home, and we'll leave you on a bit of a funny note, as Mariah Carey has recently admitted that there were some songs she dedicated to Derek Jeter, all while currently married at the time, including her first kiss.
I have waited my entire adult life to have this conversation. Oh my God, 1997. Mariah Carey. During
I was only
break,
one.
Jack, let me educate you on this. Okay, Mariah Carey in 1997. I was 20 years old at the time. She was my number one celebrity crush, and little did I know, she was having a thing with Derek Jeter at the time, and wrote 2 songs about him.
Here's the thing: Mariah Carey's not even like in the top 3 of what Derek Jeter's pulled. If we're gonna be honest,
No.
I mean,
Okay. Maybe
Jessica
like, at that
Alba.
time.
Jessica Alba is on that list.
We're talking 1997 Mariah Carey.
I'm aware of which Mariah Carey we're talking about.
I showed you the Honey video.
I'm
Jack.
aware. I've seen it.
Honey, Mariah Carey. You've seen it because I showed it to you about an hour ago.
I am also of a certain age. Anyway, this has been the Blitz. Michael Jimenez is going to go watch the Honey video over and over. Catch him out Sunday from 11 to noon. He'll get you ready for your fantasy season. For Jack Thompson, I'm James Fletcher. Hang loose and have fun, my friends.
The Coach Jimbo Show, every week on ESPN San Antonio. Brought to you by Airtron Heating and AC, Ewald Kubota, The Roof Hub, and The Angry Elephant. Join Andrew Monaco and Texas A&M head coach Jimbo Fisher, as well as players, as they recap and get ready for each week's games. The Coach Jimbo Show, brought to you by Airtron Heating and AC, Ewald Kubota, The Roof Hub,